stagnant pig shit bastard, the creator God, needs to choke me with catalytic converter. Yes, it's a car. It only has a catalyst on it. Let's put it down your fucking throat, Christ. You fucking buckled cunt. Yeah, every fucking car. Go on, and sneakily, when I got my fucking camera and everything in my fucking pocket, because all other nights I've been up here, we haven't had this, Christ, you buckled fucking hell-bent cunt. You twisted fucking evil bastard. You're just absolutely fucking coarse, Christ. You crest bastard. You sex slaughtering, fucking ice axing, fire staking, eye burning bastard. You're just fucking crest, Christ. You're absolutely fucking crest. You bastard. You absolute outright bastard. You nasty bastard, Christ. You buckled cunt. You fucking sex slaughter, fucking tearaway. You absolute fucking satanic cunt, Christ. You can't help it, Christ. You're fucking evil. Your forces are fucking buckled. You fucking satanic cunt. Well, let's see if you fucking set up a car on this fucking road. This is another road where there's hardly any traffic. Let's see what a buckled bastard does. I'll keep it on record. I just want to see what this buckled bastard does. This complete buckled bastard creator God does. Fucking sneaky, fucking sly, sexual, fucking slaughter, fucking tearaway. Go on, get that vehicle. Go on. For a catalyst. Go on, do it for a catalyst, Christ. Go on. You fucking cunt. Go on, get that fucking catalyst sorted out, you little bastard. Go on, fucking, yeah. And it turned out true, Christ, you buckled cunt. Yes, it's turned out true, Christ. It's turned out fucking true, you buckled cunt. Yeah, you're a buckled bastard, Christ. The problem is, Christ, the problem is, you don't realise this, Christ, but I don't come to fucking pieces, pal. I get nasty and I get revenge, you cruelty cunt. You can see me as an easy target to fucking rip to fuck, Christ, you buckled fucking evil, sex slaughtering, ice axing, eye burning, fucking burning bastard. Right, could be coincidence, but let's just, I got to be nailed as a fucking pervert, so a car beeps, pervert, or horn, in the distance, but even though it's in the distance, the creator God's aiming it at me like a piece of shit. Where the creator God is a sexual slaughter fucking tearaway and a fucking deranged bastard with his buckled fucking creation stepping on insects and fucking snakes eating the fucking heads off of cats and whatever, means that where a car was trying to smash me up at 11:45 PM means there was a sick smell there. Walking back in the other direction. Right, I get a thought in my head of how the creator God works, telling me to go with a stale old bag, a piece of shit from hell fucking creation, an ugly fucking whatever, the age I am, and then that tree branch there, I can't film it because of the time of night, blocks me to the graffitis on the tree. That graffiti's been there about, well, since I started walking this path, and it says having nout. So, okay. Very clever, Christ, you buckled cunt. I'm going into the town 30 minutes earlier because I want to go back earlier. But, you know, it's a Wednesday night and you've got all the clubbers about, all the bar covers, so I'm looking forward to a fist fucking smashed in me, Christ. And if a fist is smashed in me, I'm going to cut that person's fucking wrist and throat. But I got to go there, you see. It's the power of Jesus. A buckled fucking sex slaughter, ice axing, fucking fire staking, eye burning bastard. I've been on Home Finder, by the way, on homes in Sedgemoor. I forgot to mention this. I went on there last night. I was looking for slums, you see, where I got to smash fucking knives in people's fucking faces because everyone thinks I'm a fucking rapist. You know, you've got to break in, you've got to fucking destroy, you've got to smash a fucking knife in you. That's all the council can fucking offer, okay? That's a creator God for you, a sexual slaughter fucking tearaway. And no government fuck up trying to car to fucking smash me from behind where I had headphones on. Fucking sneaky little bastard. Need me fucking hit off. The government are fucking desperate. Really fucking desperate. Fucking buckled fucking hell-bent bastards. Another fucking car. At 1 in the fucking morning. Oh, this car's coming up here as well. Christ, you fucking twisted sexual slaughter. Fucking tearaway. Oh, and the next car, Christ, you buckled cunt. Sick cunt knife attack, but I can't get the evidence of audio because the creator's buckled the sexual slaughter bastard can. There's fucking wants to fucking slice the fucking throat and fucking wrist. Can't do nothing. The creator god's buckled as fuck. So, you know, the bastard's getting nastier and nastier. That creator god is hellbent. Right, let's see what other corrupt forces the creator god does. Fucking sexual slaughter ice axe and fucking tear apart. Goes back to what I was saying earlier on. There's no trouble back there. But the creator god wants me fucking hit off. The government, Labour Party, since they got in power, are getting nastier and fucking nastier. They wanted me fucking hit off first time around. Remember the saying, Tony Blair? Quite simply, the king is dead. But most importantly, what we must do is we must destroy it, we must kill it. We will get the bastard in the next life. And I haven't seen days like this since Margaret Thatcher was in power. Yeah, sorry I kicked the metal shutter to someone's place, but you know, when you're being threatened to be fucking knifed down, yeah, because the creator god's a buckled bastard and is causing all this fucking movement control around me in a fucking screwed up way, then obviously I'm gonna fucking lose my temper. I had it all fucking day. It's the worst day since I lived in the Oval. For the creator god being a buckled bastard, or the government causing all this fucking movement around me to be fucking corrupt. So I'm back home. Justin, you're being fucking smashed in, you child rapist. Justin Igloo, your sight lost. Justin, no one fucking believes you. It's a fucking dead meat, you fucking molested Sadie Dando said. Well, the creator's fucking buckled. You can't do nothing about it. You've had your fucking wrist sliced in God's stupid creation that's fucking twisted and hell-bent against you with fucking bullshit slammed down your fucking throat. Troublemaker, Just. West Street molested Sadie, Just said. HIV poison, Just. HIV poison, Just. Gotta be shot down, dead mate, yeah. And then Jesus fucks the guts in and out me as a child in my next life for all the lies of fucking Sadie when Ricky Hux is responsible for that fucking crap. Or Jamie Fenton, or both. Right, so it's the 2nd of October 2024. It's currently 6 PM. I've had to go for a walk because of the burning, but before we go any further, I've already done a 28-minute documentary. I've ended up in an argument with someone. I've had to shout that I'll fucking knife him down because the government just will not stop this crooked fucking force of telling me that I'm going to be fucking ripped to pieces and sexually destroyed, nailing me as a fucking rapist and claiming that I've raped children when I've never had sex with fucking children. And they're just going absolutely fucking ballistic, absolutely fucking raging fucking psycho about it. They're timing verticals to smash me up, hitting out black and fucking blue, knife shape, erratically, like saying we're one full fucking pelt of fucking smashing you to fucking pieces with a knife. Going absolutely fucking insane about it. They're absolutely fucking fruitcakes. They're absolutely deranged and fucking demented, these bastards in Parliament. And if it's not the people in Parliament that's doing it, the creator god's fucking fallen. So we get seagulls and crows and birds saying ha ha at all these events. I had to spend 3 hours uploading conspiracies of today's fucking problems. That 28-minute documentary on YouTube. And I named it The Creator God is a Cruel Fucking Tear Apart, sexually ripping Justin to pieces. And then today's date. When I go back home, it's all kicking off, so it's fucking bad right through. So I'm not very fucking happy at all. And the burning problem. But before we get into that, let's just start with the fucking threats, shall we? There's 4 more pages of what I got on my hand of threats. I'm going to just read out one of the pages, or 2 of the pages. Well, there's one in, 2 of the pages. And this is just some of the stuff, or similar to what's on the other pages I'm about to read. So we start off with burning straight away as soon as I get back. So I get back roughly 2:50, something like that. I'm not sure what the time is. So that's 2:50 PM. And straight away I'm burning. There's a lot of burning being caused. Now, I don't like accusing people of using energy weapons or anything like that, but you've got to raise that suspicion, because obviously when I did a 111 call the other day, they didn't think it was schizophrenia. The person on the phone didn't anyway. They're saying the type of symptoms doesn't link up to schizophrenia. There's certain areas that you're mentioning which wouldn't add up to schizophrenia. He said, that's my opinion. And he said, you want to tell your doctor what's going on, if there is anything going on, because to me these are rather odd places to experience this sensation. If it was schizophrenia, it'd be in a sort of a different way, if you get what I'm saying, or whatever he said. I can't remember the wording he used now. So anyway, I don't want to dig at Peter, but he is banging to say that you molested Sadie. You're having a fucking break and I'll smash your fucking teeth out, inject you with a fucking weed killer needle, or not weed killer, HIV. You're having your life fucking taken, using energy weapons and stuff like that. That's the sort of stuff that's being banged. And it seems to be pretty bad, and I don't know what's causing him to fucking lose his temper banging in this way. So at the same time I'm burning. So I'm on edge because I've already had a fucking nasty day. Like I said, I don't like accusing people, but you know, enough of this problem. You know what's going on, I have to keep going out. Nearly every fucking night I've had to go out because of this burning problem. It's not stopping. And I'm getting nasty about it now. Right, so bow whistles, HIV injection, negative woman said, dead meat, burglary, bow whistled, child rapist, eyesight's missing said, losing your fucking eyesight in January next year said, smash you in Justin said, stuff lost, bow whistled outside, stab you with HIV just, what's the next? You'll be fucking moaning when your fucking stuff's gone. I won't be fucking moaning when my stuff's gone. It'll be going into fucking Bomb Hinkley Point power station graffiti everywhere. It would go into fucking fires. It would go into arson. It would go into fucking criminal damage. It would go into graffiti. No one tears me to fucking pieces and gets away with it. Not after sexually slaughtering the fuck out of me and stopping me get sex all my life, while nailing me as the sickest cunt on the planet. Right, so next fucking setups, yeah? Stuff is gone said. Stuff is lost said. That bowl whistled. A bowl whistle's like a whistle, a bit more poppy, a bob, like it's got wet on your end of your lips type of whistle. HIV needle. Copy scooter, HIV, that's another problem. They're saying I copy Scooter's music. Well, some of Scooter's music tells me to enjoy sex with someone that sexually abused me as a child. And then they twisted the Maria track against me. Anyone that listens to drum and bass jungle needs to be fucking hit off, as mentioned in his weekend track. And when they released Scooter's Night, they turned Susan against me when she was 17 by upping the age of consent to 18 for 1 year before dropping it back down again. And it caused enemies to turn her against me, and take into account I was only a few years older than her at the time. So yeah, that's the way the creator wants to work. He wants to be a malicious bastard, or the government are doing it. Also the government making suggestions to hit me off at the Fathers for Justice event as well. And also it's one of the nastiest fucking walks I've ever done up here this time in the evening for threats, but we'll come to that later on because I'm fucking fuming at the moment. Right, so the next fucking thing is, we'll see, Justin said, and that's being said while I'm actually burning. It's sort of, you're feeling like you can't stand up. You do actually feel shit because of the energy weapons that are causing it, which I believe it has to be energy weapons. Other people are speculating this now, and I don't want to accuse people, but they're speculating it because the fact that it's only happening at my place and it's not happening anywhere else. Saying it, especially the people that I phone, like the 111 or people I've spoken to, saying it seems rather odd that it's only happening at your place and it doesn't happen anywhere else. And this is what I've been trying to say all along. So obviously we've got loud bikes to erections, that's been persistent. What else is there? There's on the other sheet. Right, so most of the evening, because obviously I don't have my sheets, I'm just going to have to sort of guess what was been said. It's sort of burning, and obviously, as I say, there's banging in sequence to these threats as well. So anything from smashing your fucking head around like a fucking football, kicking all your fucking teeth out, smash your fucking teeth out, you're a child rapist, you raped Stephanie, whatever, you been in a relationship and had sex with Amy Weston when I've never had sex with her. And there's been some animal voice sounds as well, some corrupt dog barks, saying you're being knifed dead, you raped Sadie Dando, and fucking going on like that when I've never had sex with Sadie Dando. And Ian Dando's being mentioned, and Stephanie Jill Hill, or whatever her surname is. Don't like bringing names up, but you've got to, because you've got to make a conspiracy because of Creator God, all these people are fucking buckled and are getting fucked off with it. So you're being injected with HIV, snake venom, where they're using coward substance. Why not just use weed killer or fucking bleach that kills someone? No, too scared to do it, aren't they? They want to fucking play murder. Alright, let's get to the next fucking load of problems, shall we? You're having a fucking break and everything's fucking missing. Lost everything. Well, I can tell you what lost everything is. They're going to fucking bomb Hinkley Point power station graffiti. And it won't just be that, it'll be fucking graffiti, fucking criminal damage, getting nasty with everybody. I should go into a nasty person. But this is the reason I'm turning nasty, because people are turning me nasty, where they're ripping me to pieces all my fucking life. These people have only had like 1/4% of what I've had in my whole life. They haven't been through what I've been through, and I'm getting a bit nasty about it, and I'm not going to fucking let it go. Anyway, I've got some sheets. So, we've got bow whistles, HIV, injected, negative woman said. They want me with a negative woman, not when I've not had anyone in my whole life. For first ever sexual relationship. You're having a fucking break-in, you're being fucking smashed in, you're being shot dead. Haha, you're going to have the guts, sex sucked out of you as a child in your next life when you're raped by men, fucking the guts in and out of you as a baby in your next life. No choice in the matter, saying you've got to pay the price for raping people in this earth, when in this life I've not had sex apart from being sexually abused, basically. Right, anyway, let's get to these fucking threats, shall we? Dead meat, burglary, bow whistle, child rapist, eyesight's missing. In January 2025, you're losing your fucking eyesight, said. Misery. February next year, they want to mention Valentine's Day and all that shit. They're kicking off and threatening to smash me out at Christmas. It's a fucking nasty evening. I can tell you now, it's the nastiest fucking walk I've ever done up here. And I've had to do some shouting, I'll come to that later on. Right. So, eyesight missing, said. Smash you in, Justin, said. Stuff's lost, bow whistled. There's a lot of stuff being bow whistled, and obviously corrupt dog barks and whatever. Stab you with HIV, Justin. Tough. You'll be moaning when your fucking stuff is gone, said. Lost, just, bow whistled. And telling me I copy Scooter. Well, can I copy Scooter when Scooter's music is telling people to be hit off that listen to drum and bass and jungle? In Scooter's weekend. And obviously in Scooter's night, there's someone that's called Susan who's a sexy lady, and this is another mistake the government made. She just turned 17, and I was in my early 20s, the earliest part of the 20s. I can't remember what age I was, but there wasn't really that much difference in age. And because they changed the age of consent from 16 to 18 for 1 year, it turned her against me. And then because of that, she got in a sexual relationship with someone else. And then obviously they put the age back to 16 again. They deliberately caused a night track. They twist it against me. They fucked up on Scooter's music. There's other music as well that he's done, and there's music that's telling me to fuck the guts and enjoy sex with someone who sexually abused me as a child as well. But anyway, if we go back to the night track, basically it's a corrupt fucking track that's been twisted against me. And it also turned other people against me. And then obviously there's a track that says "Waiting for Maria" at the end of that track or something like that. Well, Maria's an old granny on a Zimmer frame back at that time, and is also the name of a very serious mentally ill lady who's very negative looking, that did spastic poses and walks very slowly on the path. That's that for that. And then obviously you've got the Maria track, which is all buckled and twisted against me in a fucking sly, malicious way. And then obviously you've got HIV injection track of Jigger Jigger. And then they start taking the piss and twisting the tracks, and then they bring out pop groups like Girls Aloud, and then they time a word in on a vehicle saying Bikes Aloud, or there's an Amy Winehouse singer, and they twist it from Michael Winehouse as they're doing all that sort of stuff. I won't go into a long story about that because that's not irrelevant at this minute in time. So, right, so let's get back to the rest of the threats on this sheet, shall we? HIV, basically everything you fucking say. It's just the same fucking shit all the time. I'm going to remember what I've written on the sheets because I'll get confused if I read that. It means it's exactly on the sheet, so if you want to see the sheets, they'll be on Facebook. But let's get with the story. Right, as I walk out, this evening, because it's been the nastiest fucking walk up here I've ever done, ever, since I've lived in Yeovil, because obviously the Labour Party are trying to rip me to pieces, are trying to hit me off, they want to destroy me, and they're getting fucking nasty about it. Right, so there's a blue car my way. No, sorry, yes, no, that's wrong. My penis shoots up as I walk out the door, and there's a bicycle on a path in my direction tying to an erection. And then there's a blue car, and that's also smashed over a drain cover. Then there's a black car timed. Before I get to see what the person is, there's a person that shouts his fucking head off from a car window, getting nasty, and because I'm in a certain area I can't photograph the evidence, I don't have my camera ready. So then there's two people that are saying they're going to fucking smash me in, saying that you're a child rapist, and then saying that all your stuff's going to be fucking missing and that you're having a fucking break-in, you fucking sick cunt. Then I'm being told you fucking prey on women in their 30s and that you're going to have to be fucking stabbed to death and you're being fucking shot while photographing me. These people that are photographing me, this is what's causing all the shit, but there's nothing you can do about it. And this is why I'm getting nasty at the moment. I've had to tell some people walking up here that if you're going to fucking smash me in, I'm going to have to cut your fucking wrists and your fucking throat violently in a fucking fight. I didn't want to have to say that, but I had to make it sound like I got a knife on me, because it's the only way you can deal with these fucking people. Too many people are after me, because the government have jeopardised my life by timing all these fucking fruitcake, fucking nasty, malicious bastards in my direction to try and hit me off. And this is why I had anywhere from 40 to roughly 140 threats per day, almost every single day of 2022, and is roughly the same amount for people that were photographing me or filming me with their smartphone, mostly mistaking me as Savan, and also for people coughing and sneezing in my face is also roughly around that figure as well, per fucking day. It was a really, really nasty fucking year. So anyway, they passed me, and after they passed me, I managed to keep my cool, but I was on the edge of my fucking, ready to fucking get nasty. Obviously I wouldn't have been able to fight these people, because these people were fucking bearded fuckers that are really tough and fucking hard. So then I'm told I molested Sadie Dando while being filmed or photographed by another person, and say you're going to have your fucking stuff taken, you're having a break-in, you're fucking sick, you molested Sadie, you're a fucking rapist. So I shouted back, if you want to fucking start, pal, I'll take a fucking knife, I'll smash your fucking head in it, and I'll rip your fucking throat off, and I'll fucking slash your fucking wrist, you fucking screwed up, buckled bastard, until you get the fucking facts right. And then he fucking shouts after, he said, oh, come on then, you want to fucking start, I'll fucking break your fucking arms and legs, go on, bring it, I'll come into you, you bastard. And just started fucking going on like that. So I managed to get past that evil bastard, who was accusing me of raping Sadie Dando. And we get to the next fucking person that starts a fucking row with me. So that person is, actually I can't remember what the person looks like, this one. But as it happened, a seagull goes, bird or crow goes, as a threat is being made for me, and I'm being mistaken as Savan, and being told that I'm being shot. A simple threat. So after that, obviously take into account at this time there's black and blue cars, red, gun-shaped, knife-shaped cars, the whole fucking lot's on that road this evening. You're looking at about 300 cars. It might not sound the most busiest, it is busy, it looks busy, 300 cars, but you know, it's 100% to every car. Every single car's been patterned out in a pattern. That's every car, not like you've got 290 cars and then you've got 10 that are random. They've got every fucking car on the road in that certain pattern. Every single car. So I'm not in a fucking very good mood. So basically when I get past the crossing, hang on, there's two people that walked past me photographing me, no threats, and these are young people. Right, so I managed to get across at the crossing. There was no problems at the crossing, and then obviously you had the cars, obviously, and obviously when I tried crossing the next section there was no problems crossing the next problem until I got to National Tyres, where there was some rough people that were walking in my direction saying that my name is Justin, which it is, yes it is Justin, but telling me that I'm a child rapist and I'm being fucking smashed in, and that you're being fucking burgled, you're being fucking done out, and also telling me that you're having your stuff taken and being busted, where, so basically they're saying that your stuff is in storage in a garage, and that's being busted, and that you're having your fucking life taken away because you're a sick cunt and child rapist. So I went to shout back and I said, if there's anything like that goes missing, which it already has, but there's more cases of stuff at my place. So I said, if anything goes missing, because at the time I actually shouted back, I forgot I've already had a break-in and I've lost my stuff. And I said, well, if I get a break-in, I'll write about it, we were going to bomb Hinkley Point graffiti everywhere. And he just said, well, I'll stab you with a fucking HIV syringe, I'll fucking bash your brains out. You won't fucking start. You don't tell, you're a fucking liar, mate. You don't fucking, don't back it back, chat me, you cunt, because I'll just fucking smash you out, you on the fucking floor, you bastard. So he basically said that in that tempered way, in this dry, stern, sarcastic, snobbery, fucking high accent. And I was not very fucking happy about it. So then obviously the government tried ripping me to fucking pieces by an overhanging trailer trying to rip my fucking legs off from behind. Sneaky little bastards. But done in a way where I'm trying to pass a normal person on the path and I go to a side to let him pass, and they do it in that sneaky way trying to rip my fucking legs off because they want my fucking legs taken off. So the government have done that. They've attempted that. Also at the same time, my willy shoots up and there's a 9 times loud bite to an erection, and then there's an 8 times loud bite to an erection. But also, the drain cover's hit over by a car, smashed over loudly timed as I go walk. Yet the government have caused the animals to fucking they curse me. They use this. They're in tune with the creator, the government, and they cause the creator to fall against me. I've mentioned this on many videos in the past, but there's nothing you can fucking do about it. They put me in sacrifice. The government don't give a shit. They want me fucking ripped to pieces, and they know that the creator God's Satan's the evil bastard, and they want me destroyed. Right. So anyway, earlier today when we had the real fucking nasty trouble, like we have this evening, and also now, we come to a stage where I've forgotten what I was going to say. We came to a stage where they had to time. This is earlier, not now. Where they timed your life down the drain van. This is what they were doing. They'd done this with many vehicles in the past to make suggestions, and they're starting to. Basically, 2 months before Labour got in power is when all this action got nastier and started to increase. So they knew when they were going in power. I don't know if it makes any difference to what party goes in, because this setup is there all the time. But it seems to be extra nasty ever since Labour's got in power. And obviously, if we go back to April until when the election took place, they were forever making suggestions that the Liberal Democrats are winning the election in Yeovil in Somerset by telling me that they're ripping me to pieces and timing that ripping you to pieces paper shredder van every time I pass a vote Liberal Democrats winning here poster in in Yeovil. There's many videos. I've even put this on YouTube at times, and it's all dated as well. It's all on there at the moment. It's on channels I deliberately lost a password to that I can't sign into, that I've just left for people to read. And I've lost my fucking temper. Even the person in the ripping you to pieces paper shredder van, he used to give me threats, and he doesn't anymore. He just laughs as he passes me, and it's because they know in the van that they see me every time that I passed a vote Liberal Democrats sign. But also what they were fucking doing between April and just after the election, maybe a month or so after the election, is they were timing a lookalike to someone who sexually abused me as a child, timed as I get a boner, or my willy shoots up, or I get a sexual impulse in my penis. So what they do is they time a lookalike to someone who sexually abused me as a child. Now they're still continuing by timing a baby being bounced about in a sling, or spill your guts t-shirt, or power clean van, or 100% bleach van, or stuff like that. But what they're doing at the moment, or they've been doing since April, is they've been timing age is just a number is love that counts t-shirt. But they have timed all 3 of these t-shirts that I'm about to mention in one go on several occasions if we go back in the last few months. So obviously you've got make love, not war. Age is just a number is love that counts. Over 50 is too old, and under 50 is fine. I'm not 50 yet, but when I am 50, they're going to make sure that anyone that's under the age of 50, that they cut my throat to stop me getting sex. That's exactly what the government are doing. They're sexually crucifying me because they want to sex suck the guts in and out of me as a baby in my next life before playing about with me with fire poker sticks, drinking my blood before burning me to death in sacrificed satanic rituals because they want me destroyed. And they're making the suggestion that they're doing this, and they're making the suggestion it's capital punishment. That's what they're doing. They're making this suggestion that it's capital punishment. But I haven't done anything wrong. But if we go back, there's even tracks that I didn't even know about that came out in 1980, which is before I was born. basically telling people to fucking knock me off, saying that he's going to, making it sound like, well, they're doing it in a way to make it sound like you're the return of Jesus in some ways, and they're basically saying that when he's here, make sure you rip him to pieces and fucking tear him apart. But they used a lot of a milder phrase back in that time, back in 1980 when they released that track. I can't remember what the track is, because obviously I've had so much on my plate, I sort of can't remember. There's certain things that I've stated in the past that I just cannot remember what they are, but I do have the evidence, so it's in the Deep Depression Life Story Pack, but whereabouts I do not know. Probably somewhere between 2007 to 2010 area where that's stated. And there's got a load of other tracks as well that I mentioned. I think I mentioned one track I can remember actually, and surprised about, Bomb Funk MC's Freestyler, where they, I think it was that one, or you had Lady Gaga Just Dance, where they tried putting me down as a mental case to try and disguise all the fucking problems. There's actually a good track that I like that's actually some way making a bad suggestion. It's the Mars, Pump Up the Volume, which is a classic from 1987. I mean, it's a really good track, but you can look at it in a way where it doesn't sound good. So it sort of sounds like, it's just there, it's just dead, history, history, it's just dead, 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 dead. And then it says, government's just turn, pump up the volume on this music, we're going to get you. So, you know, there's many tracks. These are just a few, you know. I can't remember what the tracks are, you see. And so if I can remember that 1980 one, I'll mention it. But anyway, let's get on with the rest of this fucking walk, shall we? Right, so, so there's another drain cover that's hit over as I pass the next section, and then I cross the road, because the traffic's built up, it's very busy, to post a letter, and I'm posting it to 10 Downing Street of all my problems, which I photographed on sheet. So what I write when I go out, which includes registration plates, people shouting and telling me they're going to fucking knife me, or all the rest of it, I post this to 10 Downing Street because I'm getting fed up with it. So what I do is I get a letter, I write on the letter, free post, second class, in the way that they do the second class envelopes for, you know, when you post it to organisations like Downing Street. And I just put a load of so what's happened firstly is I went to post a letter, and the letter wouldn't go in the letterbox, like it's being cursed, like saying didn't want it going to, and then I can't remember the actual threat, but it's like he's a fucking sick cunt, isn't he? He's fucking let bash his fucking head out if I see him. I don't fucking bash him in, he's just sick, he's fucking sick. Basically at the time I post it, and then the crow goes, ah! As the letter wouldn't go in. It did go in because I pushed it in, but initially it wouldn't, it was playing me up. So then I go back the other way, and those two were still speaking, saying I'm going to have him one of these days, I'm just going to absolutely fucking smash a cunt, he's a fucking sad cunt, he's a fucking child rapist. So I had to put up with that. So then I go to cross the road, and there's two rough people my way, and there's one rough person that's starting to shout in my direction, but he's not shouting at me, but there was a change in the what he was saying when he approached me, so I had to be careful. So I walked over to those two other people. They didn't say nothing, they were Indian people, but they did get their phones out and they filmed me and did like a smile as they passed. As I get to the next section, which is about another 20 steps, there's another rough person that's trying to come out of a house, who's trying to sneeze in my face. And also there's another person that's coming down my way who actually I can't remember what he did. No, I've forgotten what he did. Well, leave that one out. I don't think it's one of the worstest things that occurred. I can't remember what he did now. And then I can't remember what happened in the next bit. That's right, yeah, I remember. As I went to go onto the road, there's a motorbike tying to an erection going down into that way, and then there's four bikes that came over the farm entrance of the hill near where I was going, which is just as I was going over to walk over the bridge to take the usual route of where I'm going. I almost forgot about that as well. So those four bikes were tying to an erection, and a car cuts me up as I go to walk on to the bridge. So there's a couple of cars, I'm choked by a catalytic converter, so there's like black and blue, sick, white, grey, you fucking sick bastard sort of suggestion, you know, you this and that. But on the actual bridge itself, there wasn't actually any colliding cars today. It all happened on the next section when I got around on the corner part. They're starting to do it on the corner for some reason, and they're trying to hold me on one side of the road as well. Mostly on the same side as when it's sunny, and it's hot and sunny, and they're pushing me onto the other side, stopping me get the cooler end, forcing me to stay in the sunshine. So it's on that section. So in total you had about 20 to 25 cars while being choked by a catalytic converter. And then obviously when I was starting to climb the hill, there were some people in the car park shouting across saying he's a paedophile, he's being busted, I'll break his fucking arms off, I'll break his fucking legs off, and I'll smash all his fucking teeth in. He's fucking raped children, and he's a fucking woman beater, and he's raped women as well. So that's best it gets. So after that and conversations and arguments of all that, I make it to the next section, and then obviously this is where I start doing these recordings, which I'm doing now. So there's about 200 cars in total, but most of those cars are black sick, white sick, black and blue, and sexual. I don't think there was any knife or gun shaped on this occasion on that road. Then I got down the farm track, and as always, even though there's only 1 or 2 houses down that area, they have to time a car to pass, and they've been doing that almost every single time I go up here. Even if it's a different time in the day, they seem to, even though there's only 1 or 2 houses up there, they always seem to get a car timed on that track. Well, there's no problems while walking across the field, but there was a lot of traffic on the catalytic converter hot point, as I mentioned, and then I think I might have deleted that video because I had to redo it. So when I got to the catalytic converter hot point, obviously there was some cars, I've forgotten what colour they are, and then basically that takes you to where I am now doing this recording. So that's basically just coming up here. So I wonder what the rest of the day is going to be like, if all of today's been a fucking nasty day and a malicious day as it already has been. I'm not sure if the UK have more power than other countries, but they're certainly making the suggestion that they have no advanced technology and no ethics science when you look at what people are saying. They seem to know what you're doing in advance before it happens, all these enemies that are starting on me. And it was the same in 2006, 2007. And they've turned, females against me, they've made them pregnant, they've nailed me as a sick bastard, they turned the whole community against me. I get threats everywhere I go, in Dorset and Somerset and, places I've never been before. I'm being mistaken as Cevennes in this part of the country. So I'm beginning to wonder what's going on and whether they are trying to rip me to pieces. But what's messing up in these threats is basically, in conversations in the past, they have been threatening to blow up the Houses of Parliament in the United States and in China and in other places, saying they're not going to fuck with the people in the UK or the government in the UK, because the government in the UK they're all afraid of, and saying that they've got power. And also, if we go back a couple of months ago, there was threats outside, and I've had similar threats going back when I was living at Burnham-on-Sea, and I think it goes back to even when I was living in Bridgewater back in 2013 and before. I'm not sure. There's definitely some stuff that was classified that shouldn't be mentioned that was going on in the same sort of form or sexuality. And that's to say, if anyone in the United States tries to find me a sexy girlfriend, partner or whatever that comes into the UK or tries to change my life, then they're going to blow up the Houses of Parliament in America. That's basically what they were saying a couple of months ago. But a lot of the stuff that goes back further back is slightly different, but along the same lines, and a lot more nastier as well, if I remember. I just want to let you know that I've actually spoken to someone who's actually visiting Somerset, so it's a holiday maker or somebody like that, and this person's pretty hard build, quite rough looking, but I have noticed something. The accent's tamer, so I'm not sure what part of the country he comes from, but I'd say he's at least as high as the Midlands, or if not a lot further up. And his accent's basically the normal rough accent you had in the early 90s before you had the happy hardcore sort of roughneck type accent. So I was quite surprised by that. And he just wanted to find out where a specific place is, and I said, well, I helped him the best I could actually, because I do know that track of what he's looking for. So I left it there basically. Without getting the fucking facts right, all the government are doing is basically telling me I've had sex and had raped Sadie Dando as a child, or had sex with Sadie Dando as an adult. They just won't lay off. They got to nail it to me. They got to make it clear, push it down my fucking throat to tell me that I've had sex with her when I've never had sex with her. Right, so we've had this with a fucking black-white sick car, Sade car, CJL van, yes, spelled YESS van, an S services van, and then grey car, and then a black and fucking blue to hit me out as well. Fucking choked by catalyst. Right, so I've got to get chest pain and I've got to be choked completely fucking choked up by a catalytic converter for 30 fucking seconds after the car passes, because it's being controlled to go into me, because I got to be a catalyst, Christ, because you're a buckled cunt. Okay, you cruelty fucking sexual slaughter, eye saxing, fire staking, burning, eye ripping out bastard. Right, so I'm down the path, which I've only been down 3 times before, and this time's the 4th. The very first time was actually on a hot sunny day, and it took 15 minutes to go from one end to the other, but as a rule it takes just under 10 minutes, or around 10 minutes. Well, as walking down that road, which again I've only been down 3 times before, there's 2 people in their early 20s, maybe late teens, with sexual smooth skin teenage blonde girl ladies, or whatever you want to call them, and they were saying that I was a sick bastard and threatening to fucking bash me in. But at the same time they were laughing, but it contained serious threats to smash me in. Yet they've had sex with a teenager. I'm known as a sick bastard if I don't go with anyone over the age of 40, and I've not had nothing at all in my life. Right, so the next fucking setup is another person that walks down this path trying to sneeze in my face, which is down this track, not the road that I just come off of. Right, so whistling to say child molester, dollies lost or something like that. Bow whistles, popping, dribbling bow whistles, just get the name of the road. Danielsfield Roads, everything's fucking lost. You're having a robbery, so I'll have to go into Bomb Hinkley Point Power Station, graffiti. I've only been at that road, well, I've never been up that road where that threat just occurred. This road I've only been down 4 times, that's if you include tonight, and getting nailed as a fucking rapist and woman beater by some people I don't never seen before, dribbling bowl whistles, saying you're gonna get a break-in. We're breaking Bomb Hinkley Point Power Station, graffiti. I've made that fucking clear. The place I have my stuff stored has already been burgled. I've already had half my life taken, so this will be the final fucking straw. It's hard to know whether it's been done on a flute or whether it's bowl whistles. It sounds like bowl whistles, or I don't know. But I could hear it just as I was going past that corner, because there's a gap that goes to where I just came from, even though I'm on another road. Right, sad child abuser said. Everyone's ugly, smash you in, child abuser said. Then there's a grey-white car, busting in, stab you with HIV. Said, then drains fucking hit over, and couldn't make out what was being said walking back from the shop going in this direction, but a car went over every drain cover in a sly way, as if it's done on purpose. Obviously it isn't, but that's what happened. Right, some sounds being made to say everything's gone. Then there's a red car and I'm being fucking choked to fuck by the catalytic fucking converter as it's angled over me and slammed over a fucking drain cover to tell me my fucking life's down the drain. You evil cunt god. Break his ribs, said exactly the same as I fucking said it. When he wants to break my ribs, I'll have to inject the bastard with weed killer. I'll have to slice the bastard's throat and fucking wrist and teach this dry and sarcastic, stupid, small-minded, fucking one-way-minded, thinking scum, fuck, reptilian hybrid bastard a lesson, yeah? Fucking screwed up cunt. I've had several threats in the last few minutes, just about 10 minutes, just under that. But 3 of those threats I couldn't make out what was being said, because what's happening is something's being said and then they're shutting their fucking faces about a minute and a half, and then they're fucking saying something else, and I didn't catch what is being said. But there is 2 things that I did manage to capture, or not record, sorry, but hear, sorry. Bashing you in, Justin, is one threat, and the other one is child rape is breaking in your home. Right, so a couple of minutes ago, there's a teenage couple walking past. So initially they were laughing, kissing each other, and going hee 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 and all that fucking shit. After they passed, they said this: "What's your fucking problem, pal?" I was doing absolutely nothing apart from walking on the path with a torch, and I ignore it. As they pass me, he says, "I'll fucking bash the cunt in." And in a different area, which is a different threat, someone says psycho child molester. Going back when I was living in Bridgewater in 2006 to 2008, I was passing a whole street of houses and people were saying I was a child rapist or whatever, nearly every house. So I'm wondering whether something's being fucking said and this bullshit's being spread about, whereas by an organisation, the government, the police, I haven't got a fucking clue. But what's causing it? What's actually causing these people to say this? It's like they're chipped or they're fucking... to happen. But why in a mass? Why? What's fucking causing it? That's a knife-shaped tractor, by the way. Right, the reason I bring this situation up about people making threats from when I'm passing their houses or bedroom windows or whatever while walking on the path in the street or whatever is because it's happened again. It's happened by another person back there. I couldn't say much back there because I didn't want to start an argument because I would have ended up smashing the fucking windows through, because I'm not in a very fucking happy mood with the fucking problems I've had today, because it's been a fucking nastiest fucking day ever. I don't think it's been the nastiest. It was 2021 or 2022, a specific day in one of those years where it's nastier. But my tolerance is not as good today as it was back then. But then again, I was younger and I was like 40, 41 thinking, oh, I might get sex for the first time in my whole life. But now this is carrying on and my life's getting worse and worse and it's going down the drain. And as it gets down the drain and as I'm being mistaken as Savan, being told I'm a rapist and claiming I had sex with Sadie Dando or whatever else, I started to lose my fucking temper a little bit. But anyway, basically what happened was is the young chap in the window said, sick bastard's going, he's being shot, sick cunt. So he said that. This hasn't hit me, but God's time to conquer to fall off the tree or something to fall out of the tree, which is not heavy, but heavyish to cause pain. So about the weight of, how do I put it, about 3 or 4 2p coins. Right, so a person on a motorbike said you're being shot dead. Not that one. The one before it. Taking away police report days where I've been threatened to be smashed in with a knife and even chased at Nine Springs with a knife, mistaken as Savan on one occasion. I think it's Liam on another occasion. It might have been, so I can't remember. And where I almost was attacked in December 2021 in street in Somerset, where this person wanted to get fucking nasty and smash the fuck into me in Crispin, was it Crispin Hall, where the game shop is, I'm not sure what it's called. He wanted to fucking smash me in there. He actually looked very similar. It isn't, obviously, but he looked very similar to David Govia, who is Harley Govia's brother. Obviously, Harley's someone I used to know at school. I spoke to him in recent times. I think the last time I spoke to him was 3 or 4 years ago, when I was walking on Burnham Beach, before I moved to Yeovil. It'd be 4 years ago now, but yeah, lost contact, lost numbers, not too bothered. I'm going to cut that story short. Let's get back to what I was saying, because I've forgotten now. Right, so there's a few incidents that occurred, I think it's Christmas Eve 2021, where I was on the bus. I went to 3 different places. I think it's Glastonbury, Wells and Street, and I had something like 150 threats or something like that in that one day. And I think I went to Somerton as well, and it's just a really, really fucking nasty day. Everyone fucking starting on me, including the cashiers in the shops. It was really, really fucking bad. Some were mistaking me as Savan, some giving no name, couple were mistaking me as Liam. It just turned out absolutely fucking nasty, and everything was all sexual grounds. And I was threatened to be fucking smashed in, beaten to death, to be fucking taken with a knife, to have my fucking life taken, to be fucking shot, to be injected with the fucking poison. You name it, it was fucking nasty. And I didn't have any weapons on me to defend myself. And I wasn't thinking of cutting people's throats and wrists if they started a fight either. I would have thought of going to 999, but nowadays it's too dangerous. I mean, family don't agree with anything I say, but they're starting to realise and they're starting to agree how rough it is and how dangerous it is now. And there's just nothing you can do about it. You just got to try and avoid the trouble. I mean, going back just 15 years ago, certain family members didn't even believe that I'd get the Savan threat. You know? And it's a lot worse than that. It's not just a Savan threat anymore. It's a lot nastier. It was nasty, mind you, it was nasty in 2002, 2003. Ever since we got past the year 2000, it's been really fucking nasty. But even before the 2000s, it was fucking nasty. Right, I said the Cevennes threat went on for 15 years. There's a bit of a mistake there. The Cevennes threat came in around 2017 area. I'm not exactly sure when it came in. I thought it was initially 2016, but while walking with my cousin Matthew to the Apex to visit the sunflowers, that was actually in later than I initially thought. I can't remember if it's 2017 or 2018. I think it's 2017. Well, it was roughly that time period when the Cevennes threat came in, or just after that. I can't remember when, but that was when that began. And the problem is, all these people, I'm in situations where I've been at places where, you know, not actually right next to where it's happening, but I've been to places where girls are being raped, or people are in sexual relationships or having sex with their partner, and all what people are doing is coming back at me. Just as we came out of the lockdown into the reality of life, when they stepped up all this organised crime against me, and they can stop chiming penis loud bites to erections because I'm pissed off of it. I was at the bus stop in Taunton, right, and there's a lookalike to myself, not quite, a bit more sort of stronger looking than me, and a bit more sort of more sort of chav looking than me, and posher clothes than me, but near enough. Same colour clothes I was wearing, but slightly different. He only chased a little girl down a side path at the edge of Taunton, and then I was started on for trying to chase a fucking girl and whatever else. Luckily there was other people at the bus stop at the time, but they didn't arrive at the bus stop until after that chase took place, and she was screaming and people were coming up to me. One person came up to me, asked me, what the fuck are you doing, why is that girl crying, why is she screaming, what are you doing, fucking chasing her? I said, it's someone down there, I said, go and look. And you know, it went into a full-blown argument. So I said, I'll get the police then, if you're gonna fucking accuse me of it then. So it got nastier and nastier. But because there was other people at the bus stop, obviously it didn't go into a vicious argument or me being smashed in or whatever for mistaken identity or whatever. But you know, you've had that occur. There's been many occasions like this. And obviously everything's coming back at me, and you're thinking to yourself, you've been sexually abused as a child, not had anyone in your whole life, and you're the one that's being nailed as a fucking rapist, a child beater, a woman rapist, a child rapist, a woman molester and child molester, and I'm getting fucked off of it. You know, and also they're insulting me, telling me I'm a sick cunt if I don't go with a granny. Yet I still haven't had anyone in my whole life. They cut my throat, okay? It's as simple as that, and this is why I fucking landed Jesus Christ in jeopardy and turned against the Creator God. I actually did this in 2002, but then I thought, give it some thought, maybe God will help in life. So I chucked away, say like 200 sheets, maybe 300 sheets of very small writing and daily problems, and I thought, pray to God and just hope that life will get better, and what happens? Your life just gets worse and fucking worse, and got nastier and nastier ever since. Then I went onto a digital word pad, and then obviously I take photographic evidence of stuff, audio recordings, film footage, you name it, and there's never been a fucking good day. And at times I've lost a proportional or section, like 3 or 6 months of solid information of evidence of problems. In that time period, they step up the action, but what they do is they step up the action, but they make damn well sure that I lose that evidence of that time period, and that has pissed me right off. And they've also made the suggestions of insulting family members and doing other things on sexuality just to rub it in. And that was really the start of it. I think it's 2016 area where I lost a chunk of 6 months, and it's the worstest they could have ever done, you know. I really fucking was fuming. I hit the roof, but there's nothing you can fucking do. And then obviously, they stepped out of problems after that as well. And it didn't really calm down. It took a time to calm down, and it just got fucking nastier and nastier. It was the start of a new era of things worsening as well. It wasn't much, but it was the start of a new era of things getting worse before eventually I moved from Burnham-on-Sea to Yeovil. There is another thing that really pissed me off. Right, obviously you're timing loud bikes to erections, but if we go back to 2019 in particular, all these setups and problems started to die down. In actual fact, I tried a camping trip in Kingscliff Woodland because of the gritty eye problems, stinging, burning eyes that I was getting at my old place, and I was having to camp because of it. And eventually, you know, I was camping until I moved, so I did about 3 months of camping before I moved, because I needed to keep my eyes rescued from energy weapons that were doing damage to my eyes. I'm not quite sure what was causing it, but I have a suspicion of what it could be. When it comes to burning, I don't have a clue, but when it comes to that, I'm not 100% sure. I just have a possibility. But what I want to mention also, just before they made the suggestion, just before we went into the lockdown, the very first lockdown, they made the suggestion that I paid the price for all the crimes that I've done. So they're making the suggestion that they were actually, they didn't really have sympathy as such, but they were making it suggest, they were making the suggestion, you're in your 30s now, they found out that stuff's not true, and that they're going to let me have sex. That's what they were suggesting. They said you paid the price for writing Bomb Hinkley Point graffiti. I've been arrested for that in the past, by the way, and I haven't done it since. I still haven't done it. I'm just waiting for that really fucking nasty time period, you know, waiting for a break-in, waiting for my life to get fucking out, waiting to be put in ruins, basically, before I would get revenge. I'm leaving it to the last minute. I want people to actually fucking tear me to fucking pieces first and sexually destroy me to a point where I get the revenge. And I'm not doing it unless it's necessary. And then once that time comes, then I should let fucking explode. But anyway, they made the suggestion that I paid for that. But there's two things that did piss me off. I've never had sex with Stephanie, and I've never had sex with Sadie. They were making the suggestion that I paid the price for that as well. But the problem is, I never had sex with those people or never molested them. So no sex whatsoever. No body touching, whatever. And they just... there's a possible threat that occurred over there, and I had to stop the recording because I was getting confused on what to say. Well, there's been another threat, is sick cunt robbery, getting a break-in, so... Right, anyway, so they made the suggestion that I paid the price for basically claiming that I had sex with Sadie and Stephanie. I've never had sex with Stephanie, I've never had sex with Sadie, I've never had sex with Ian, and I've never had sex with Amy Weston. But the problem is, the people that were setting up this organised force think that I have had sex. So whether they found out that they made all this shit up against me, I do not know. But this action definitely dropped in 2019 for that last year. I mean, as I was walking into problems, you know, but it's very, very rare. And also I was walking into setups, but it was reducing. The actual setups were all reducing. All this problem was reducing. And this is the time period that I was walking into Gemma Ferguson on the beach and saying hello and all the rest of it, and trying to ask her if she's single, because I've not had anyone in my whole life. But obviously you can't just ask someone if they're single. I mean, mostly when I saw her, there's only me and her about. There's literally nobody within miles, you know. And I was sort of speaking to her many times on the beach, you know. There were some times where she was a bit hesitant to say anything. There were times where she got a bit, she just ignored me or made a kind of a remark. It depended on the day. And then obviously you had this other person who was slightly younger than Gemma, but more negative looking, with rougher skin. But unfortunately she's a mother of 3, and obviously she doesn't have the smooth skin that Gemma has. But she is actually, she does appear to be younger as well. And I was walking into her as well and just saying alright, because initially I was sort of thinking, is that her, Gemma, or is that another person? But you can see the variation and I could work that out. And then Gemma sort of she's still walking, but very rare that she'd say anything and or whatever. And it's only when I left that letter in the shop that she phoned me up and said that, who do you think you are? Fucking asking a 31-year-old fucking girl if she's single, you sick bastard. And started saying, you just stand... initially she said she was going to report me, and then goes on and saying, you're fucking sick, and saying you just landed your whole fucking life in jeopardy. With the people I got against you, you're going to end up fucking dead. And saying, what are you, 40 fucking years of age, and I'm 31, you sick cunt. You know, something like that. You know, so it got nasty. And I had many fucking threats regarding this person over time, especially in the last couple of years. This Sadie threat has just suddenly increased. Between 2011 and 2021, it was very rare that was being mentioned. It has been mentioned, there has been threats, there's been times where it's bad, but it doesn't last very long. But this has been right through. So since April 2022 area, it's getting nasty again. Anyway, let's talk about going into the end of the because this is unusual, and I was mentioning this to the doctor. This was not making sense. This setup, or this construction force that's against me, trying to rip me to pieces, was dying out. It was literally dying out. Just before we came into the lockdown, or that year we were going into the lockdown, I thought to myself, well, why was it set up in the first place? But you know, it was easing, it was dropping, and I was walking into sexual people. I was actually walking into mostly foreigners, but you were walking into people in sexual relationships with 30 years difference in age, and I thought to myself, I don't see that often. And you think to yourself, well, is that possible, you know? You think to yourself, well, if they're in a sexual relationship with an age gap that big, you know, so people in their early 20s with someone in their 50s or whatever, if they're in a sexual relationship, it's mostly foreigners, but you know, it surprised me. It's like this is suddenly changed, you know, and you're thinking to yourself, oh yeah, I forgot about Leanne Selway, or Bishop, or whatever her surname is, who's now known as Leanne Lawley, because she was in her early 20s and she is in a relationship with someone roughly my age, maybe a bit older, I don't know, and that was seen as normal. And then you've got Rebecca Addiker, again, she's been in a sexual relationship, and when she was in her very early 20s with a massive age gap. And then I'm thinking to myself, so why am I nailed as a sick cunt if I don't go with anyone over the age of 40, as it stands today, and I've not had anyone in my whole life? So what's fucking going on? I mean, I don't want to bring names into the equation, but I need to get through that I'm being treated like a sick piece of shit when I've never had anyone. Anyway, there's one thing that they did that was naughty. I know, actually, I think it was after the lockdown, actually, I'm not sure. What they were doing is they were timing... Well, I was getting an erection, and obviously the bike was there regardless. They were timing a loud bike to an erection. No, it wasn't really... It's still quite bad in 2019. You know, it had its days, it was very bad. So the action was still there, the setups were still there, but it's definitely reduced to what it initially was before then. I think it was after the lockdown, not before the lockdown. What they were doing is, timed as I get an erection, they were timing a child around a corner. But you don't know how, you're unaware of it, because you don't see around the corner. You haven't got a clue what's around that corner. And then what's happening then is they're making a suggestion I'm a real sick bastard, and then they're digging with this setup and making it, you know. But how are you supposed to know as a child there when you can't see what's around the corner? When you're getting an erection, you get an erection, and there's nobody there, you can't, you know. How are you supposed to fucking know that? And then they start getting nasty with the action to say that you're getting a boner over a child when you're not. And then obviously you're getting vicious. I think it was after the lockdown, actually, because it was at the time I was walking into these rough bearded types of people. Before the lockdown, it was very rare. It was occurring mostly on Barrow golf course, where people were playing golf. But I was very rarely walking into bearded types of people. The types of people I regard the bearded types of people are the same types of people my ex-mugger Dan Morgan is friends with. So the type of family he has, or the type of friends he is associated with, seem to be the types of people, or everywhere I go, that are being rigged up into my direction ever since the lockdown. Before the lockdown, I was walking into nasty people, but it's mostly sort of hard-style ravers, techno people, or, you know, it wasn't the bearded type as such. And it was really after the lockdown when the Savem threat really took off. Because before the lockdown, it's mostly me being mistaken as sort of... well, I think the Savem threat came in just before Liam, but it was a lot of Liam threats in that time period where I was being mistaken as Liam. And the Savem threat seemed to be mostly tied up. I'm not saying it's Dan Morgan's friends as such, but the types of lookalikes, or the type of people that he'd be friends with, or his family, or his appearance sort of people. It seems to be those mostly that are mistaking me as Savem. And I thought to myself, well, I've been playing my fucking iPod speaker, playing old school jungle tracks on the beach. So a lot of people, there is a lot of people that know what music I listen to, and they know that I'm not Savem. But you've got to take into account, that's just 0.1% of thousands upon thousands of other people, and that 1% cannot defend you against these other people that know who you are. And I mean, these are rough people that know that I'm not that person, but there's nothing you can do about it. And because they're making up stuff on sexuality and bringing up stuff from the past, it's brainwashing some of the older people that left me alone to cause more shit, or they've forgotten what they were told, and the lies that have been made up about me and whatever. I mean, when I sort of went to Bridgewater on one occasion, I passed two people. I think they're people that hanged around the Squib pub next to my place where I used to live, and they were talking in conversation. Said, "He's fucking had it, mate," because they sliced his fucking wrist. I can't remember the word, and they said, they just basically said they fucking cut his wrist. He's fucking poor fucker. He's gonna, they're gonna have him, saying stuff like that. But I can't remember the exact phrase that they said. But people did realise it. But the problem is, you're outnumbered. That's just 0.1% out of about 100,000 fucking percent sort of thing, figure of speech. So there's nothing you can do about it. So and then obviously after, as soon as we went into the lockdown, I'll tell you how the setups acted. So these setups sort of came to an end. As soon as we were coming into like 2019, the setups dropped into nothing. So this setup and this organised force against me wasn't really occurring at all, hardly. There's just one specific day where I was getting a load of threats, and I think it was November, and I had over 100 threats where people were fucking starting on me for no reason. Or the time period, I can't remember. Then it was only for a short period of time and it died out. Then we went into a lockdown. When we went into the lockdown, initially for the first couple of months, or just under a couple of months, or up just after Christmas, setups started to they were there, but they were they've always sort of been there, but maybe it's because I'm so used to setups all the time that even the mildest setups seem to look like setups. It's sort of around about mid-January, it sort of seemed like it was being reconstructed, or the force against me seemed to be like it's being reconstructed around me in a sneaky way. And it was quite nasty when it's being reconstructed, even through the lockdown. But it wasn't a lot. And then as soon as we came out of the lockdown, all this force is 4 times heavier and malicious and nastier than it's ever been before. Opening a sandwich when you go out of a shop, timing a person around a hidden corner to sneeze into it. And then obviously, like I said, get an erection, a loud bike, tied to an erection. But unexpectedly, there's a child around a corner which you don't actually see because there's a wall there and you don't have a clue. So when you get an erection, you think it's normal, but they're timing a child, and then they're accusing you of getting a boner over a child and nailing you as a stick and getting erratic with it and fucking getting this force against you and really fucking digging with this force, they're doing that. But, to cut a long story short, ever since we came out of the lockdown, they've stepped all this action up much heavier than it's ever been before. However, it has been heavy. There's no doubt about that. The day I went to Bridgewater Court, and when I got arrested and went to the police station on 2 occasions, these setups were heavy as anything and as malicious as anything. And it's as heavy as what today's setups are, but only this was rare though. Today it's every day. Back then it's like once a month, or once every certain time period. I mean, going back to before 2012, sort of 2010 maybe, I could walk to my father's and I'd have, on a really good day, where there's not much in the way of setups, it would be written in brief, but you could keep it on 1 sheet, 3 sheets at a maximum sometimes. Nowadays you're looking at about 20 sheets per day if you were to go there. 16 sheets, depending on what you're doing. And a lot of the stuff that it's so heavy now that you're not actually stating it like it used to be. You're stating it in brief, like saying 200 cars being set up suddenly or whatever. And going back in that time, when they were timing vehicles, it's very rare to get 200 cars where every single car on the road is constructed in a pattern of like black and blue, sick white or red white, and gun shaped and sexual, and then a following repeat of that with the other 190 cars or whatever, but causing every car on the road to be in that sort of pattern. 200 is extremely rare. Going back before 20... I'm not sure, say 2012-ish, 2011, before then, to actually get 100 cars that are set up in order to that pattern would have been almost very extremely rare. And now it's like it can be up to 1,000, you know, even more than that. I don't know how it's done. I don't know how they're controlling the traffic to be in that pattern. But, you know, since the lockdown, it's been a lot more nastier. Right, I'm not exactly sure what was causing the burning at home. I mean, logically, if you look at it on a logical point of view, you have to look at it as a health problem. But I don't believe that that's the case. I think someone's beaming some form of military energy weapon that's causing me to feel ill. I don't know what it is, but it's only happening there. A bit like the eye problem that was only happening at my old place when I was living at Burnham-on-Sea. Whatever's causing it, it's taken, today in particular, it's taken over 1 hour for the symptoms to ease. So whatever it is, has got into my body, the radiation's got into my body, and is not clearing very fast. So whatever's being used, or whatever's causing it, if that is the case, then it's taken about an hour to an hour and just over an hour, a bit over an hour, for the symptoms to start easing. So I'm not very happy about that. Right, so moving to Yeovil, because of the radiation problem, or the burning has affected my eyes at my old place, it's cost me thousands, and I'm not joking. Right, sexuality has cost me £10,000. We'll start with that, shall we? On dating sites. First payments I made was in the late 1990s for postcards in the windows, you know, paying for putting adverts in the windows asking if anyone's single. And then it was coming with funny phone calls, and most of the people that were phoning in, I was told by my Uncle Rob that these are people who are like women that are in their 40s and 50s that are asking me if I'm single when I was only 16 or something at the time. And then obviously I gave my mum's number, and there was a few malicious phone calls regarding that, and then obviously that came to an end. When I reached the mobile stage, when you had the Nokia 3310 and stuff like that, I started putting ads in the window myself, paying 30p or whatever to put it in the shop window or whatever. Some places was 10p still, but not very many, and then there was other places that were usually 20p, and it could be 50p at other places, depending on where you put it. And obviously it just went into no responses. I mean, there's a couple of phone calls I had which sounded, you could tell that the people that phoned you up were real disgusting, ugly, munter type, unhygienic sort of appearance type, zombie faces, the toff, laughing backwards, stupid type of people that are very fat and very uncleansed, you know, not very clean, you know, the sort of people that got warts all over their body, and, you know, rashes all over them, and you know, a face that looks like it's all filled with like disease or whatever. I don't take to that type. Nowadays I'm being told I'm a sick cunt because I won't fancy that type for first ever sexual relationship, yet all my enemies have been with sexual smooth skinned teens. Anyway, let's skip that. Later on I went on to dating sites. When I got into the Bridgewater Library in 2005, I started using dating sites. There's over 50 dating sites that I went on in the year 2005. They closed a lot of them down, including the ones I paid postal order payments to. They just shut them down, including just in time dating or something like that. I can't remember what it is. Anyway, they did the same pretty much over and over again when we came to 2008, 2009, and it's still the same. When we went into 2010, 2011, 2012, they're stopping me see specific members. So you make the payment of 40 quid and they're blocking me from seeing anyone except one person. And then closing my accounts, disabling my accounts. I've got photographic evidence of this. Is right across my fucking life story, deep depression page story packs. What's known as sexually ripping Justin Langford to pieces, conspiracy or whatever, my life negative problems. This is all on 50 gigabytes on you know, many folders of containing all this evidence, mostly stories and photographs and whatever of the problems right through time. But you know, like I said, I've lost quite a bit at the same time. Well, anyway, I went on to escorts. I started paying them, got nothing at all. So basically, then we had this Michael Jackson prostitute that looks like Lisa Pike. She would have been more negative looking than Lisa Pike at that age. So she's about the age of 22. She claimed she was 18 at the time, that is. And apparently, according to a neighbour conversation in the corridor at my old place, is Dan that set it up. I don't know if they're referring to Dan, a neighbour that used to live there, or Dan, my ex-mother, or another Dan. They also mention the name Oliver and Scott. They think it's they saw me as a weak target. That's what they said in conversation. So they tried to get money out of me, knowing that I'm mentally disabled, and saying that they're using him, and saying that's exactly what they're doing. And they said, and they were actually saying that this female, they said I don't really want to say much about this female, but it's not good, but you know, and saying that it's being purposely set up, and they know that she's negative looking. Basically, that's what they said. And that's basically it. And I was scammed. And then obviously the boyfriend tried to scam me pretending to be a car dealer at B&M car park, but it does actually look very similar to the person that wanted to smash me in with a knife on Highbridge railway track in when is it, April 2022, which I've already mentioned, and then wanted to meet, and then met up in Bridgewater and wanted to attack me. But so that was that. And obviously, any replies that I did get on dating sites were, think of your age, stop adding sexual people, and what else is it they said? I'm a single mother, and my ex-boyfriend doesn't want you to have anything to do with me, and stop adding single mothers, because you'll only get your fucking head smashed in or fucking beaten up in the fucking street, because my ex-boyfriend doesn't want you with me when I got a child around me and I'm a single mother. So they're saying stuff like that. There's many different things. I could go on for fucking hours just mentioning this one fucking problem. And I'm serious, I could actually go on for hours just mentioning this one topic regarding the threats and the issues of dating sites. In 2015, my mum did a conference in London, I think, or was it a time? No, I can't remember. I think this is a separate time. There was a dating agency, and at the same time I went to get a passport. All my ID, I had to go for an interview and all the rest of it to get a passport, so I got ID, so I got picture ID, just in case I had to go abroad. And I mentioned that it's also in case I had to go out of the country to find a sexual partner and whatever, when I had the passport and I had to pay to do all that. When I went to a dating agency, I wasted my money and time. They only had 7 members that were single. Each and every one of those were negative attraction, and the only one that really was sort of half decent looking was this black lady who was in her 30s, but unfortunately she was a single mother. So it was a waste of time, that was. Taking all that away, I went on to moving on to Viva Street prostitutes, even though I was scammed by this Jeanette prostitute, as she named herself. I mean, she wasn't really a very clever. I wasn't really wanting to answer the door, but I had no idea if it would be that or not. So I answered it. But she was very negative attraction for her age of 22. I say 22, but she said she was 18, but she looks a bit older than that. She looks about 22. But there again, I don't know what her age is. Either way, she's not very fucking pretty looking. She was more negative looking than Lisa Pike would have been when she was 22ish, when I saw her in street. When going on the bus. And she didn't have smooth skin as such, you know, it's sort of, but she had smoother skin at that sort of time, or just a little bit younger than that, than what this other lady had that went to scam me. In the end, throughout time, using Viva Street, because I only give blowjobs, and I've spoken to prostitutes, not in this area, but just in conversation, general sort of chat, friendly chat, and they're saying that I'm right on everything I say, you know, they don't give you sex. And obviously hardcore sex is where basically hardcore sex means you're having sex without a condom on. It means you're having proper raw sex. And then safe sex is where you're wearing a condom. Now prostitutes are supposed to give that, but they only give blowjobs these days. And they're moaning about the age gaps as well. And it's the same with the transgender and everything else. When in the end, I'll cut a long story short, because like I said, I can go hours and hours moaning about the same fucking subject of the problems I have through time, trying to find whatever it is you want. And it's cost me 10 grand in total, roughly about that. I worked out of 900 but then you've got to take into account recent-ish times where it's cost another grand or so it's definitely 10 grand at least. Right, let's move on to what I was initially going to say, since I moved from Burnham-on-Sea. So it cost me, to try and eliminate the eye problem at my old place, and I was sort of buying different fabrics and whatever to try and resolve the problem of gritty eyes and stinging eyes and burning eyes or whatever from whatever is causing it. cost me roughly £3,000. All because of this having to be set up, and I couldn't do nothing about it, nothing stopped it. They went for everything, every fabric that you could think of. Whatever it was, it went straight through it, went through the lot. Nothing I could do, so this is why eventually I had to camp. When I did move, I put 6 boxes in the shed. Those 6 boxes and the blue bag of clothes that I had in there, which is like a small rubble sack of clothes, got broken into. The day I went to move to Thorn House, when I moved to Yeovil. And they contained all my best stuff as well, all my essential stuff that I wanted to get ready to put in the social worker's car. So the social worker, obviously, I had to rearrange, to get my stuff. I went to Nan's and got stuff there, whatever. And that was the end of that. When I moved to that place, I had a £1,000 money pack, which was a spare money pack to buy fridges, to pay for curtains, to pay for this, to pay for that, bills or whatever, because I wasn't really much of one for using the card back in that time. I started to use the card more these days, but back then I was sort of wary about it, but I use the card now. That £1,000 money pack got stolen. And take into account I don't get the money I get anymore either, and I'm also at the lowest amount of money that I've had in many years in my bank account. I mentioned this yesterday or the day before on a conspiracy recording like I am doing tonight. After that £1,000 money pack went missing, I decided to save up a £500 money pack as an emergency pack. I did something stupid on one day and I went out and I forgot to hide it and it got stolen. Then we came into... there's bits and pieces that I thought went missing from the fridge, like cheese or whatever, but I can't guarantee that. Just that I remember it being in there. It's like, but like I said, that can't be confirmed, though I was a bit suspicious. When we come into 2022, I won't give her a surname because you're not allowed to give surnames, but I would just mention that Helen is one of the staff workers. She was doing a favour for me. So yeah, I'm happy that she did this, really. So she went into my flat. It's going to be a hot day. Before I knew about the hot weather, because it's like, she opened all the windows, opened the doors off for me or whatever, to let the breeze in. But when she turned the radiators off, hoping that she was going to turn the radiators off, she actually turned them on. So she accidentally, because it's an awkward dial to use, and she got confused and she turned it the wrong way, and it warped all my old school jungle vinyl. And there's many underground jungle tracks that I lost. I lost Legend Records, Legendary Volume 3, Lee and Gwange 2 Deep and Lee and Tango Solutions, Nut E1 off the Nut EP, Liquid Affray and Underwater Fireworks, Pesce World of Music, Infrared Records, the original press. What else? Making Ground, Take Me Higher, Ragga Mix, which is a Photech record on Rude Boy Recordings. The Anthill Mob 123 Adrian Blunt remix. I think it was Dark and Moody Volume 2 as well, I'm not sure, which is a Formation Records promo by DJSS. I can't remember. Obviously I lost Mental Power, Unknown Intelligence, which is Control EP. Intense Paradox, Rugged Vinyl 7 EP, the original record. Also Intense Genesis Project, which had the Genesis Project, Time Space Continuum, the Dreamer, and the dope remix of the Quickening on it. That got warped. Had the Alliance First Impressions, Legend Records and Reinforced Records, because that's on Enforcer 6 and it's on a Legend Records promo 10-inch. Take into account these records were in mint condition. I lost Rev P 1994, which is better known for the Rhythm Process track on the A side, which is on Imp 22 of Impact Records, and you can't get that anymore. And there's a couple of others that I lost, but you've got to take into account the heating was on for a few hours before I discovered this on full. Just 1 week before though, I was being threatened to be fucking smashed in with a knife by the neighbour underneath me. He had harder friends back then, and apparently he got rid of those friends because he didn't get on with them because they were sort of rough people. But obviously this person's not there anymore because he's got evicted for trying to knife down the staff door on the 2nd of May 2024, which, believe it or not, is the same date as Sadie Dando's birthday. Right, so that cost me, in today's money, if I went to get those records back, you're probably looking at about £3,000. When I pay for it, it's probably under £1,000. But these records are bought back as because what happened was these whatever's causing gritty burning eyes and stinging eyes was dismagnetising and wiping data off of USB sticks and hard drives at my place before I moved to Yeovil, and it was also fucking up the disc layer of CDs. But I don't believe it was messing up the records because the records seem to be in one piece. So I decided to buy some records to get my music back if I lose any of my music. Some tracks were rescued, but not all of them. Not all the CDs got broken from whatever's causing it. So that is that. Over time, I've had the digital audio recorder wires broken and a few bits and pieces going missing here and there. There was a £250 money pack which I had kept as an emergency money pack, which I hid very safe. But unfortunately, there was work that was taking place and that went missing as well when that person went to do work in the area where I hid it. Right, so going time, there's a few times where the door was unlocked as well, but it's mostly when one specific staff worker was working there, who's a female worker, but she's not working there anymore because she's left. It could be accidental because sometimes the door, and I've told the staff that when they check the doors that they make sure that it clips over and it shuts properly, which there's only one occasion where I went back where it wasn't, and that's, but there is CCTV in the building. However, the CCTV has been down quite a few times, 6 months at one point, so I was lucky I didn't get attacked or knifed or when people were losing their temper. But anyway, so what else has happened? So I think sort of I got trouble at the healing weekend in Highbridge, accusations of theft, and I have photographs taken on me to say that you're being beaten up and fucking knifed for stealing stuff when I haven't. And then obviously I was stopped by security guards with my father, and we were both accused of stealing and also accused of being there the day before when I wasn't there the day before, and that turned a bit nasty. So there's a place I can't go to ever again, and the amount of people mistaking me as Savem when I wasn't walking around with my father was quite bad as well. But if we go back before 2016, 2017, again, the Savem threat didn't exist, but I did get threats there. Even the very first year I went there, which was 2012. 2013 wasn't too bad. 2014 wasn't too bad. 2015 wasn't too bad. 2016 wasn't too bad, but the threats did get nasty on one of those 2 years at times, and it's never been right since, and has got to a point where I don't go there at all. So we got that time period, and then after that I get a letter in the post to say that you're going to have to say your benefits are going to be reduced, and then they want me to pay basically 3/4 of my benefits to pay for care in the building. So they kept it on hold for 1 year, and they kept it on hold for another year, but at the moment we're undergoing a situation where I could be losing my money, which I'm not very happy about. So that's all being because I had the letter come in September because we reached the 3rd year and they want to take the money. I'll go into more on that later on, because that's still being sorted out at the moment. I'm not sure what's happening there. In general, the benefits have been reduced anyway. The next bit of negative news I want to mention is if we go back to March, I had a break-in at the place I stored my stuff. So it's like a place, like a garage, where you store your stuff and you make a payment per month. Well, the problem is I had everything in there, like blank M discs, CDs, you name it, clothes, camping equipment, other bits and pieces, you name it. And I lost my fucking temper. But what happens at the time that occurred, it wasn't a good time to occur because all the trouble increased. All the animal voice sounds went ha ha ha. Started making sounds saying, oh, you're being knifed dead, Dexter, or you raped so and so, or you're going to go to the fire of hell, ha ha. You're going to be raped as a child when you're born again in a new life, ha ha ha. Or, all the animal voice sounds increased. Right after I realised I had the break-in, all the threats got violent and nasty. Anything from smashing me up to fucking knifing me down to fucking kicking my head around like a fucking rugby ball to nailing me as a rapist and a pervert and a paedophile and murderer and fucking you name it. It got really, really fucking nasty. Then you got to take into account it wasn't very friendly at home either. A lot of banging in sequence to threats. Staff didn't believe anything I said, because they can't hear it in the staff office. It was just absolutely fucking chaotic. I'm lucky I never committed suicide or cut my fucking wrist and throat, being in the situation I was. Then I got in trouble for shouting, making a conspiracy and putting it on YouTube, losing my temper with the creator God, saying I'll rip you to fucking pieces if you return, you cursing me, you sexual slaughter, and so and so. And they wanted to try and dub me with medication. But the problem is, this medication is very dangerous, and it makes you ill, and I nearly collapsed. Going back when I had the highest dosage of olanzapine, and I was trying it for a very short period of time, I collapsed. I went numb in the leg, collapsed right in front of a threat. Yet the month before, when I wasn't taking it, I only had one threat. But this he's an old doctor, and he expects that there to be 0 threats in a month. But I can tell you now, going back then, this was it was in the time period the Savem threat occurred, but the threats were very far and few between. There wasn't really many threats. There was times where it was really bad, but there could be a month where there's hardly any. Maybe one threat. But then again, I was mostly on the beach. And where I go on the beach, there's literally nobody apart from dog walkers. So it was much better back then. But ever since, the lockdown, everything's just kicked off to the worst this has ever been. Direct threats especially. I mean, I used to have a lot of threats in Bridgewater. Direct threats, but this is getting nastier and nastier. This is nastier than Bridgewater. There's some stuff that was in Bridgewater where it was more risky, where people were really hard and ready to smash you in or whatever, and preparing. But I think you can say that 2022 and 2021 is the nastiest threat years for direct threats in my whole life. So anyway, that's not the only problem I had. These M discs, I bought some M discs, and had M discs that were at my place, alternative to the ones that I had stored, which got broken into, which again has cost me thousands. With the discs, I went to do some recordings. When I bought these discs, they were a lot cheaper, but I didn't realise they were discontinued until later on, and there's a story behind that as well, mind. So in today's money, I wasted £1,400 in discs trying to record data, music data. And it turns out, when I did do the 40 discs roughly that I wanted to do, of the same disc, just to guarantee I got fucking saved copies for the rest of my life, it turns out that there's a fault where when I saved the discs, then all the tracks were fucked up. So I was not very fucking happy at all. So that was the next problem, and it's caused by Matty, who was doing a lot of banging. He wasn't doing it on purpose, it's just the way he was. He's doing a lot of banging, and unfortunately it was so often that it fucked up all the discs that I tried burning, so I lost all my music. Come September last year, there was some quiet times where the banging wasn't too bad. Matty was there, but he was in a happier mood, and I managed to do some discs. So I managed to do 6 copies of My Photos 1 and 2, and a 40-track CD, or an M-disc rather, of my favourite music. What happens? When I did the 6 copies, so the 2 I posted to my mum, so the 2 My Photos and the 2 music discs got stolen in post, and then obviously the others are at my dad's. I have a copy of it because I did a copy when I last went down there and saved it to my MP3 player and USB stick, but the master copy's at my dad's. When it comes to November 2023, I had a whole load of cryo chamber CDs, which are CDs alternative to jungle, which I was buying, quickly saving, and then putting it into a storage place before I moved to Yeovil. But that storage place didn't last too long, because eventually I went to Nan's and then went back to mine before I moved, because that specific place was a bit more secure than where it was put when I had the break in. But it's the costs, that's the problem, and I wasn't happy with the costs. But anyway, I got into that music, into that dark ambient, and what happened then is in November I was saving tracks on my laptop and they were all working fine. Then we had the burning problem, which I was putting down to possible energy weapons being used, which is why I'm out here this evening, because of the burning. When I took those discs, the 32 disc or 37 disc, can't remember how many discs it was, to my father's to save them and to listen to them, I noticed every one of those discs, each and every one of them was fucked up. And I don't know how that's happened. Even if there's energy weapons or whatever's causing the burning, how is it fucking up those discs? And I have noticed that since that time there's a few USB sticks and hard drives that don't work either, which was occurring at my old place. But at my old place it was affecting my eye. This place is affecting my body with a burning sensation. But whatever's causing it is still fucking up discs and messing up hard drives and USB sticks. So what the fuck is it? And how's it doing that? Anyway, in today's price, believe it or not, you're looking at about £1,400 to replace those discs, because the rarity of those discs and the limited copies that they release. When I bought them, you're looking at about I don't know really, 30, 60, 90, most are under 50 quid, so I think I paid about 800. But you know, I was trying to get the music, you see, while I was camping before I moved to Yeovil. Anyway, either way, those discs are gone, they're out the door, they're thrown out, they don't work. But the good news is, on the 4 discs, the 4 music discs and the 4 My Photos discs that are my dad's, which I put on disc, which are known as master copies, which I won't take to my place because of this energy weapons or whatever, whether it is that caused by that. Could be frequencies in the air, it could be anything. But there's 3 of my favourite tracks that are on this. You've got Dahlia's Tear Crystalline, Atrium Carceri, which is Eschatology, Atrium Carceri, The Way Down, and I think there was another one, I'm not sure. No, I think it's only that. So, I mean, they're downloadable, these tracks, but I prefer them from a CD because download quality is a load of shit. But anyway, it's a mark of the past where I've lost my music. But at least I got some music. I think there's another dark ambient one where it contained a lot of tracks, not full albums, but I think there's a couple of discs I managed to do where I had quite a few cryo chamber tracks on one specific M disc that I did. I did several copies. I think there's a couple that's at my dad's, but and I think there might even be one that I gave my brother. But and there might even be. I think that you definitely. Well, I got them saved, so it's got to be. Yeah, it's definitely a copy at my dad's, but I'm unsure how many. I don't think there's that many. Sort of in total for the whole lot, I think there might be 5 or 6. But they're sort of rescued ones, and this is before, before November last year that I took them down there, and that's before the burning problem occurred, and that's why I can't have, all the discs I get now. You just can't. They're just fucked up, really. So this is my life. Getting not on top of this, of all these problems occurring, my life's getting worse, and I'm being told I'm a sick cunt if I don't fancy an old granny for first ever relationship. Time and again, people have gone on about Wayne's World. I've done a documentary on that in the earliest of Deep Depression Life Story packs. I don't need to keep on mentioning that. It's quite awkward how to state it and describe it, but it doesn't, I'm getting pissed off with people using any possibility in the past to dig at me, to stick, to piss me off with the future. But the problem is, they're doing it with stuff that's false as well, like the Sadie Dando, or the Ian Dando, Stephanie, or Amy Weston, or whatever. That's the problem. But, yeah, all you get now is threats to say you're going to be shot down, you're going to get raped as a baby in your next life, played about with in a fireplace with poker sticks and your blood drinking from you, but nothing you can do about it. After all this and all the threats and all the fucking trouble all of my life, people are asking why is he fucking a nutcase, and why does he retaliate, and why does he shout back? Well, when you've been taken to pieces and have your whole fucking life ripped apart and your stuff taken from you and destroyed and whatever else, and your evidence fucking going down and whatever, and being nailed as a sick cunt when you've never had anyone, it's hardly surprising. So let's get to sexuality, shall we, before we end this recording? Because after sexuality I'm going to leave it there, but what I will mention is I shall give you the rest of the evening's problems directly after the sexuality conspiracy. Right, so right through my whole life I've basically not had anyone, no girlfriend, no sex, no whatever. And also 99.9% of all problems and all threats I've had in my whole life is sexuality. Being accused of raping children, raping women, beating women, smashing women to pieces, and kicking women and knifing women, and you name it, and none of it's true. But there's nothing you can do about it. Everyone's one-sided and they want to make lies up about it, and obviously because you have a face that looks different than other people, they can interpret that as looking like a pedo or rapist or whatever. So that's another thing that goes against me. So let's look at my previous life to start with, shall we? 15 plus years ago I saw a past life clairvoyant, and she said in my previous life I was a sexual looking, good looking female that lived up to my early 20s before dying tragically in a laboratory. But she didn't say whether it's murder, but she made the suggestion it could have been murder. Well, she said I had a very bad childhood as a little girl in my previous life where I was being sexually abused on a regular basis, and said I had it really bad. But she said this life's going to be much better, you've got a better life and you've got a chance of getting a nice partner and someone who you can fancy to make up, and saying that karma, like she basically say, good karma will reward you in this life and they'll probably come very soon. And that didn't appear to be the case. In actual fact, it was in the time period when my life started getting worse and worse and worse to the state it is today. In this life, basically I've been sexually abused as a child, and we've even had seagulls and crows going ha 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 while it's happening, doing it on the roof deliberately as I was being sexually abused as a child. And those animal voice sounds continued right through, but they died out between the years of roughly 1994 until 2002, 2003. Then it was very rare. But in 2005, when I moved to Bridgewater West Street, it was all the time, and it's been like that since, basically, give or take a few years between the 2013 area to 2015 area, but 2015-16 were bad, mind them. Then it sort of died down again, and it sort of really kicked off in December 2022 onwards, to how it was back in 2005, 6, 7 and 8 or whatever. But anyway, let's skip that and talk about sexuality, shall we? So right through my life, I've had enemies that stopped me getting anyone. They made those teenagers pregnant. And going back in those days, people weren't so negative looking. I don't know what people drink or what drugs they use or what's making them look older today, but people seem to be going into negative attraction by about the age of 25, where it used to be around the age of roughly, if you go back to the 80s and 90s, people didn't usually go into negative attraction until around their 50s, maybe even 60. But for some reason people are going into that negative attraction around about 25 today. In foreign countries, people aged 55, 60 still have that smooth skin that they had when they were a teenager. You don't get that anymore. It's a different way of life, different foods people are taking, different... I don't know what's causing people to look so negative, but that's what's happening these days. And you're known as a sick cunt if you look at these types. So, obviously, like I said, they stopped me getting anyone all my life. And sexuality is the cause of all problems in my life, 99.9%. known as a sicko, known as a rapist, stopped from getting sex, and people want to kill me, smash me in. There's been many arrests from the police where I've retaliated because of sexuality. Even the Bomb Hinkley Point power station graffiti that I did that time, before I got arrested, the police told me not to do that because they're more concerned about my life. That was on sexuality as well, mind. So the whole lot has just been like it right through, there's people give me threats right through my whole life. Basically, let's just say the whole of my life story, deep depression life story pack, that I mentioned on a daily basis, or mentioned on a daily basis since whenever, right through to now, is all because of sexuality, to cut a long story short. So that's how bad it is. Everything I mention on these recordings goes back to sexuality. And then you've got setups to say that you're going to be ripped to pieces and taken apart in your next life and have to be sexually abused as a child when you're reborn in the next life. That'd be 3 lives in jeopardy of blue murder taking place in 3 lives. That really shows how loving Christ is, doesn't it? As it stands today, because I'm 43, I haven't used dating really, to be fair, but I'm told I'm a sick cunt. The highest person, the oldest person to tell me I'm a sick cunt, because I won't fancy an older age person, is 37 or 38, and that's Alicia, and that's someone online. I'm told I'm supposed to go with the gizmo attraction, the shingles looking attraction, face that looks like it's got smallpox. You know, you're told to go with a negative type or you're a sick cunt. You're told that you've got to go with a stale piece of shit, a back end of a bus, a very used woman, and a woman that's made a mistake. You know, you've got to go with someone that's got their mistakes. You know, they're a single mother. So all these people that start on me, people that are going to threaten to smash me and all the rest of it, got me down as a sick cunt. Most of these are 20 years younger than me, and yet they're having sex with teenagers and early people in their early 20s, maybe even 30s. Yet I'm being told that I'm supposed to be in a sexual relationship with people much older than that, and they got the nerve to tell me I'm a sick bastard because I won't go with someone at 40 years or older. Yet these bastards are with teenagers, and they're making teenagers single mothers. So they're the sick bastards because they're having sex under the age of 40. So that means anyone in the world that's had sex under the age of 40 is a sick bastard. Yeah, it's coming back at me, and I've not had anyone in my whole life, nor molested anyone. So that's sexuality for you. There's a few other bits and pieces that I remember. This is from dating site a couple of years ago. I haven't really used dating, to be fair, but someone told me nastily that she's 34 years of age and saying that you're 41 or something like that at the time, and saying you're a real sick bastard, and saying you shouldn't even be looking at any fucking post, any books that are written or anything at all by a lady that's aged 34, saying you shouldn't be looking at anything at all on a lady that's aged 34 or under that age, and getting really, really fucking nasty about it. So I was thinking to myself, people that sexually abused me as a child have been, you know, in their early 20s or whatever. I'm known as a sick cunt by a woman 10 years on top of that age and more uglier looking than someone that sexually abused me as a child when I walked past someone with dark hair and you know, a woman basically that's basic attraction, aged roughly what I said, about 10 years on top of that, and she's got me down as a sick cunt, and this was a couple of years ago. And the other thing is, Jesus Christ, when he was in a sexual relationship with Mary Magdalene, that makes Jesus Christ a sick cunt, because I'm known as a sick cunt by people as high as 37 years of age. So that means if I was to fancy Jesus Christ, I'd be known as a sick cunt even at the age he was when he was crucified. So, worth mentioning. As I mentioned earlier, with all these problems getting nastier and nastier, I'm starting to come apart and starting to... Well, I don't break, you see. This is a problem. If they're trying to sort of destroy me, rip everything from me, break everything of mine, throw the fuck out of my... get rid of my music to force me into sexual pop music or whatever it is they're trying to do, I won't break. All I'll do is I'll just get nastier and nastier, and I'll get revenge and get... And this is the problem. People don't like it. They're saying I'm a nutcase, a fucking screwball, saying he's fucking got absolutely fucking nutcase. That's why nobody likes him. They're not taking into account that I've never been like this before. It's only because these things are happening and starting to change, and I'm not changing because I'm a screwball or nutcase. I'm changing because I want to get revenge of what people have done to me all my life. and I'm getting nasty about it because I've had enough of it. That's what they're not taking into account. They're just saying that they're just using the excuse, oh, he's a fucking screwball, he's a fucking nutcase, I'll fucking knock him out, I'll fucking rip his fucking heart out, I'll fucking smash his fucking face apart with a knife, I'll fucking inject him with HIV, I'll break in, I'll fucking break his legs off, I'll fucking snap his fucking fingers, I'll smash his head across the fucking road, I'll fucking run him down, I'll fucking shoot the cunt dead. So they're saying all this, and they're always digging, they're always doing it on sexuality. That's a problem. And I just mentioned sexuality, but there's nothing you can do about it. They're brainless little bastards. And this is why, in recent years, I've been posting stuff to these USB sticks of My Life Story Conspiracy or whatever, 54 gigabytes, going back to like 2005 when it went into a digital form, posting it to like the American White House in America, Alex Jones conspiracy theorist, there's a gunshot there, and if that gunshot hit me, what happens in my next life? Jesus Christ was sex sucked the guts in and out me as a baby, while men raped me as a child, and then they're going to start ripping me to pieces. Because if we go to what happened with the setups in recent times, they're making it clear that they're ripping me to pieces in my next life. And the government are getting nasty about it with force control, whoever's causing these setups. They're moaning, they want me hit off because they know that I know that they're putting action against me, and they don't want me to realise that it's happening and being caused. So they need me dead, so they can map out and destroy me in my next life without me noticing it, because my mind will be wiped and I'll have no idea that it's being set up. And they want to rip me to pieces in every life because the government are Satanists. So that's why they need me shot dead. I mentioned this many times as well. They've already made it clear that they slice my wrist with a creator god, and that the government work with the creator god or the higher beings and turn the creator god against me. They've got the power to do this, you see. They're trying to manipulate people with the Bible, the Holy Bible, this Jehovah Yahweh, knowing that this is a demon that puts people in hell, and that Jesus Christ is really Satan. Why these high up people laugh in the public's face, why they know who the real beings are. I'm not sure who they actually worship or whatever, but the government are very sneaky and very sly. You've got to take into account, these people that work in government are working with noetic science technology, especially these 360-degree Freemasons. And they know in advance before anything happens, so they can map out and know what people are doing in their next life or what they've done in their previous life. But there's some twists as well. They can make stuff up or add stuff to it to cause trouble. So they're not innocent people. And obviously, with this technology, they can probably, working with the creator God, they might have even fallen against a proper God, and actually using noetic science technology, knowing what the creator is going to do. And with this technology, it initially started like hard to describe. You have magnetical strip, like wheeling magnetical strip very fast, like reel to reel. And that speed, it creates something which produces a computer to have a technology to program knowing advanced technology. So the warping tapes at speed or whatever, and they can like program it in like a computer that has fucking huge amounts of terabytes or whatever, and they're able to map out. I don't know how they do it, but the technology we get, even back in the 1980s and 1990s, they were producing technology 100 years in advance per year. So that probably makes sense, doesn't it? So today, they're probably, if you look at how many years they can do it now and more, their technology could be about 20,000 years more in advance than what we got, or what we get given, because it's all closed off from the public under the blanket of national security, and they're not allowed to let the public know about the technology that they use. And their technology was even out in the Middle Ages. This is why people in castles were being killed and hunted down with bow and arrows, because these were rich people that are being paid a lot of money because they knew about this technology that we're using today. And obviously they needed to get rid of those people because they knew too much. And the people that were being paid to kill that person had no idea what that person was being killed for. And all this technological stuff is by alien beings as well, because obviously they have communication with aliens, especially in Dole Space and Area 51 and places like that in America, where there's underground cities where they have communications with aliens, and they have different levels of where they stay, you know, and they use tunnel boring machines to melt the rock to make these tunnels, and they can do about a mile in a day. So, you know, they've known about this for many years. This technology's not new. So when they find pieces in the sea, like this old broken machinery that's like 10,000 years old, that technology is hidden from us. It's underground. They got better technology than we got. The technology we got is nothing at all to what they got. Everything's secret underground. They're probably living in different places. They got technology where they can live forever, keep themselves alive, keep the body young. These people that hire out 360-degree Freemasons, they're the luckiest people in the world. They probably don't even live here. You hear of, like, you know, NASA breaking up as it goes into orbit or whatever, into space, you know. Their technology's hidden from us, and when they go up into space, they can go like 1,000,000 miles per second, you know. They got that technology now. We don't hear nothing about that. None of this is public, and all this takes place in places like Antarctica or wherever it is you're not allowed to go. So, you know, that says it all, doesn't it? I mean, there's some technology that's not actually hidden from the public. I mean, you've got HAARP, which is HARRP, which is in America, when they try to manipulate the weather. And when they do so, they deliberately cause it to be sunny where I am and cloudy everywhere else. But there's a specific painting I keep mentioning, and I mention it every fucking video nearly. Well, going back to 2015, 2016, there's a picture of Lauren, a lookalike, who's a pansexual woman that works in Tesco's. Except this person on the painting's a little bit more smoother skin than the Lauren that worked in Tesco's. However, Lauren in Tesco's had very smooth skin for her age. I'm not sure what her age is, but the highest age she'd be would have been my age. So she could be as high as my age, but I'm not sure. That would be the highest age she is, but the likelihood is she's younger, and she's got a boyfriend who's hard as nails, who's threatened to smash me, and called Mike. And he's a builder, and he's got really fucking nasty. He's really sort of mouthed me off to smash me to fucking pieces in the past. But and obviously she has 2 ginger haired boys now, and she also looks very similar to the Mary Magdalene picture, which I think is from a comic strip, I'm not sure, or a cartoon, of who Jesus Christ is kissing and cuddling. But it's only on that one specific picture. Kind of. Anyway, I'm going to this painting. That painting doesn't 100% look like her. She probably looks more like Julia, someone else that enemies turned against me years ago. But this would have only been a sort of very young person, and I would have been sort of roughly her age. I'm not sure if she's slightly older than me or slightly younger, but you could say that appearance as well. Or you could mix Britney Spears, how she looked when she was sort of 16, with Kylie Minogue in the 2 faces together, merged together. But whether that would bring out that face, I don't know. It's hard to say. But either way, let's just fuck off with that, because I'm not in the mood for discussing it. Let's just put it down as a sexual looking lady, but not a blonde type, you know, dark brown hair type. So I saw the picture again on a postcard in Yandles in Martok, and it's basically a picture of her legs are behind the clouds, and they paint the body to make it look smooth. So she's like not got much clothes on the picture, believe it or not. Her body's posing in a sexual way, like she's asking for sex, a sort of pose, which is not a good suggestion. And she's holding her hand out with the sunshine coming out of her hand, and the sunshine's being beamed down on this person that's walking through it on a track, who looks similar to a boy, but is an adult basically. The way they design the person's face on that person walking down the track is very similar to my face if you were to look at my face from a side angle, but not a portrait. Not quite the same, but similar. And he's got a backpack on, he's got a torch in one hand, and we're holding a word pad in the other hand, or clipboard. Everywhere else in the picture is cloudy and rainy. There's a thunder and lightning strike in the distant picture of that painting, and there's a few buildings in that picture, and some trees and whatever else, woodland, and I'm always complaining about that curse, because ever since I seen that picture for the second time, not the first time, but the second time, because the first time was on the internet, I didn't take much notice of it back in the days when I saw it in 2015, 2016, but I saw it again in Yandles on a postcard, so that means it's been being sold big, and because it's being sold big, that's pissed me off, because as it stands today, they've needed to take that off the internet, and they've needed to take it out of Yandles' card shop, and it's not in any other card shop, so they need to disguise what they're doing, because since I saw it the second time, which was in 2023, they started opening the sky out to be blue skies and sunshine where I am, but the problem is I don't like sunny weather, I like cloudy weather, and they're violating me with the sunshine in a cursed way. That is every day, not just occasionally, every single fucking day, all year round, and I'm getting pissed off of it. So how it should work is, for those that get the sun, it should go into a positive curse of the sex coming to you in the sun curse. The problem is, people do like the sun, many people prefer the sun than the cloud, but I'm just the odd one out, and unfortunately, although the sun's being promoted in my direction as a curse, the sex isn't, so I'm being violated with a painting that's going against me. And obviously this is why they needed to take it off the internet and take it out of the card shops, because I started putting conspiracies on the internet, on YouTube, moaning about it. And obviously they're still doing it. They're doing it every day, and they're still doing it today. Every single day since I've seen that picture, basically. Except those really heavy torrential rainstorm days where they can't make it sunny. That's it. There's literally only 6 days, or 6 24-hour days in the whole of 2023 which are cloudy or rainy through a space of time for the whole year. Otherwise every other day was sunny and blue skies. And it's about much the same this year. It's been mostly sunny where I've been. There's been a lot of cloud about, but it's not been where I've been. It's been opening up skies to cause the sun, and I've been getting pissed off of it. Where I started making these conspiracies and putting it on YouTube, they timed a school child, aged about 13, 14, who looks similar to Lauren but not quite. So this school child would look, so it was a fat person with black hair and sort of rough skin rather than Lauren's type of skin, or this picture curse, or the painting of the lady's sort of skin, so like more of a sort of I don't know how to describe it, but what people would say not the good looking type of skin, if that's the right word to use. And she was wearing a no sex t-shirt. So they decided to carry on with the curse and all the rest of it. When we come into 2024, because they were still doing it every single day, they decided to get nasty about it. And with this organised force, like setups or wording on vehicles or wording on t-shirts coming out as a message, they decided to tell me that there is no Lauren and there's no sex curse, and they decided to twist it and tell me to fuck people that raped me as a child and time like they do time to an erection. And now they're digging and doing that, and they're still doing it with the sun curse regardless, like they don't give a fuck, and they're getting nasty about it as well. And they're also making a suggestion that they're going to try and hit me off, and that they don't want it on YouTube. So they're very sneaky and very sly what they're doing. The other thing I wanted to mention is CERN, the Large Hadron Collider in Switzerland. No, that's just some technology that you get shown, because a lot of this underground technology is more advanced than even that. I mean, CERN, if they can allow the public to see what CERN can do, then obviously you can imagine what they got underground, as I was saying earlier, when they're like thousands of years more in advance of technology than what we are today. You're looking at the Middle Ages. They had the technology like cassette players, CD players, Windows 10 computers, you know, probably even the smartphone. In the Middle Ages, that is. And this technology's developed, but it's all hidden underground in bases. There's so many different areas, and so many areas that people can't go in, you know. We only get the surface information, and those that get shot dead, they're only surface people as well. They're only FBI agents or people like that, not the people that are underground. They know about the aliens, they know about that, but they don't know about the real depths. Anyway, CERN, they have the technology to create a Higgs boson particle which can wipe out the whole of the universe. That's just some technology that they're letting the public have. or no. In reality, the technology they have, they could do more than that, a lot more. That's just scaremongering. Whether that's true, whether that CERN could do that is not certain. And they try and make antimatter in there as well, but because it vanishes so quickly, they can't store antimatter. But although they got that technology in the eye of the public, so the public know what it is, that's nothing compared to the technology they got underground. They could probably wipe the whole fucking universe out in a fucking split second with the technology they got underground. They're not scared of the Creator God. If they're working with the Creator God or turned, what they would have done is they would have had no ethics, science, technology, and through time they probably turned against God and they probably destroyed God. They probably fucking cut his throat or cut the creation to pieces or buckled it or broken the force of God's creation so there's no return. They can do that now. They've got the technology to do that. They could have cut everyone's throat. All they're interested in is having the planet to themselves. And if they have cut the Creator's throat or whatever, that's just a simple definition. I'm using that as a figure of speech. So basically what's happened is the Creator had a movement, or he had a force behind him where he can do things or control things. Well, what they've probably done is they've probably broken that force with the technology they have, and they've broken the Creator to pieces, and the Creator's just now the Earth is just, the universe is just abandoned wasteland that's broken to pieces with no force that can change it or repair it or do anything else, is what I'm trying to say. It's a bit like that. So obviously if they got the technology to do that, they're using the fundamental ingredients and they're taking the nourishment from it to enlighten themselves to become the higher beings, and using this technology they can live eternal lives basically. So this is what the elite do, they got all this technology, and it's as simple as that. That's just a possibility. I don't know if I'm not certain with this. I mean, you have spirits, you have ghosts, there's still people that report this, but it's not so frequent as what it used to be. But they do have technology to cause spirits to occur with the modern technology to make it, maybe Satan is, I don't know, it's very difficult to say, but the possibility is that with the technology they do have the technology to break or destroy the Creator of the works of this universe. Whether they've actually broken the Creator's power so that there's no return, or he can't do anything in this creation, or whether or not, I don't know. But the logical side of things, this Earth or this universe is basically the Creator or the person that made this creation. If we just to say that his forces are broken and that he's broken and he's no longer here, it's just an abandoned wasteland that's just going to naturally deteriorate over time. However, with technology, what they'll probably do is they'll probably wipe out the entire universe using technology like Higgs boson and the Large Hadron Collider, for example. Now that's just an example. They've got, obviously, CERN's not exactly the most advanced technology. I mean, all the proper technology is kept underground from the public, but that just gives you a simple idea of what I'm trying to say. Talking on the subject of creation, or like the Creator's works being all broken, where the Creator's no longer around because he's broken to pieces through through technology or general, there is the possibility that Satan could have won the battle with the Creator and has broken the Creator's forces, so that if there is such thing as a heaven or a paradise, or God wants to make changes onto this earth and to reform it into another paradise or whatever, well, it's not going to happen if if Satan's basically broken the Creator, basically. And, it's hard to explain what I mean by this. So, like, the Creator might have damaged, if the Creator has the ability to damage creation, Satan has the ability to damage creation, Satan has the ability to destroy the Creator God, and that's what's possibly happened. That's not a guarantee, but if you want to look at it on that point of view, you could see that as a possibility as well. I guess then you could go into the next subject of exiting the matrix of this material realm. But then you can't guarantee that the non-physical realm is going to be able to do anything, because if the creator's force, but there's no guarantee that the creator's the devil. That's the problem. Like the devil's work of all creation, and that we're stuck in that matrix. We've got that problem as well. And then obviously you've got to look on the positive side of things, where the devil, or what's known as Lucifer, could be the person that's actually trying to help people. The Holy Bible, if you believe in that shit, says that basically Lucifer fell from heaven onto earth, and that's basically all it says. It has nothing else in the Bible regarding the name Lucifer. In actual fact, there's no guarantee that Satan is the same as Lucifer, because Lucifer's only mentioned once, and that's in Isaiah, in the King James Bible. It's not in any other Bible. And it just basically says that Lucifer fell to earth from heaven. So it basically is here to help people. That's what Lucifer's here for, to help people. And obviously, when it comes to the Jehovah's Witnesses, they believe that Jehovah is God, which is Allah, Jah, Yahweh. Well, if you look at their songbook, which is a grey book that says "Sing out loud to Jehovah," you look at the way they designed that book, they made it look like Jehovah's a demon. So they know what they're doing when they do these, and they know damn well who the proper God is, if there is a proper God. And they know that Yahweh and Jehovah is not the proper God. If something's free, and they're going to give it away to the people, they don't give a shit about humanity. They don't care about jeopardising. There's two things they could be doing, and it's very unlikely it's one of them. They're using religion to keep people safe from going to hell, or quite simply they're doing the opposite, which is the more likelihood, because these people are nasty people, so that's probably what they're likely to do. So when they come to Jesus and all the rest of it, they're probably worshipping something like Horus, these higher up people, and not Jesus. They have different gods. People are being dubbed on earth. They're being thrown into the Holy Bible, which might not be, but is a possibility that is a demonic Bible. There's a trap to put people into hell after death, while the people in the elite worship Lucifer, and it's the total opposite. I mean, that can't be guaranteed, but with people like these sorts of people, you never know. Going back to stories about myself, there is something else I want to mention. I did notice that when I was being mistaken as Sven and Liam, that in the time period that this started to begin was also in the time period I started making conspiracies saying I'm living up to my name just in time, using a definition of time, like serving time, living up to your name time, and as like a just in time, as an abbreviation to make the suggestion that they could be using my name as an excuse, or playing on that to cause me to be ripped to pieces to live up to my name time of just in time. And that's exactly when I started being mistaken as Sven, when I started doing videos of that. So that's interesting. And people like the government, obviously, if you've got a name like just in time, and they get the pleasure or the fun thinking, oh, if he's got a name like that, why not rip him to pieces for the record books? Just saying. Right, so in the last 3/4 of an hour, obviously I haven't managed to record many, but I have timed roughly, I've written it down, there's 17 times where they timed a loud bite to a sexual impulse in my penis timed to an erection, and while going for a piss they needed to time one, which is included in that 17. Regarding the conspiracy of the Middle Ages, I forgot to mention this. When these really rich people were living in castles, and they had the battle going on where they needed to try and kill these people that were living in these castles, you do know that the technology they were working with, which is like the technology we have today but underground, none of this could ever have got onto above ground, basically. So when they were working with this technology, like smartphones or laptops or cassette players, CD players or whatever, you know, radios, televisions, in the Middle Ages, none of this technology could get out onto ground. It had to stay underground. So when these really rich people were living in a life without electricity or anything like that, obviously it wasn't good for them. But you know, they had their money, they had their wealth, and although they couldn't have the technology or lived a life that we live today back in the Middle Ages, that's what they were paid to do. And obviously, because they were worried about this information being leaked by these people that are rich, this is why many have been killed and nobody escapes. You know, it's as simple as that. There's another thing I've thought of which is worth mentioning. When they talk about heaven in the Bible, because the Bible is ancient and possibly goes back before even the times that it's written, you know, heaven could actually be Atlantis, where there used to be a city underwater, which is a cold city. I'm not sure if it's in Antarctica or where it is, because I've forgotten, but there used to be a city called Atlantis, and that used to possibly be a place where alien beings lived, but it could also be paradise or heaven in what the Holy Bible suggests. That's just a possible theory. Another thing I want to mention, this is quite an old thing, I mentioned this actually at Burnham-on-Sea when I was walking on the beach. It's been put on YouTube channels, but I think it's on the YouTube channel, it closed down, I'm not sure. Why do we get all these shooting stars, and why do all these suns explode, and why do... The thing is, what's happening is, it goes back to this technology that I was mentioning, like CERN. Although it might not be CERN that's the cause of this, they have the technology to destroy different planets and stars and suns, or whatever you want to call them, using technology which knocks them out. I'm not quite sure how this technology works, but it's a lot more advanced than what's known as CERN, the Large Hadron Collider. That's in public view. If technology is in the public view, that's surface technology. Proper technology we'll never even see. It's like I said earlier on, they're probably tens of thousands of years more advanced than what we're getting now. And it also goes back to what I was saying just a few minutes ago. I mean, even in the Middle Ages, they had CD players, cassette players, smartphones. But like I said, it was kept underground, and if anything that was mentioned, you'd be taken off straight away. You'd be killed. Even though you had that technology back then, you still had to live the way that you lived in that time. So you're using candles, possibly oil lamps. Well, you would be using oil lamps, but possibly candles, you know. You wouldn't have the luxuries like electricity or smartphones. That would all be underground. People would know about it, but you know, this is the money. They would get privileges like, you know, they get good food, or they do what Aleister Crowley did, you know, to children. You know, they get the privileges of doing that, you know, with the money that they get, as long as they kept their mouth shut and mentioned nothing about the technology that they had back in the Middle Ages. So basically what they would do is they would have sex with children. They get that, you know. They get money. They get a castle, you know, given to them, as long as they shut up about the technology that they're using underground. And this is back in the Middle Ages. So this technology is not new. This technology has been around for years. It's just it hasn't come to the public view until recent times. People used to have powers as well, supernatural powers, so they could move things by mind control. But all this information comes from these books. They burnt places like, I can't remember, is it St. Alexandra or something like that, the Library of Alexandria? I mean, there were religious books, there's been different places. They burnt down all these books which had all this hidden information of how people could do things, you know. The only books we have nowadays that can give you small information is Finbar books and Starlight books in America. And you have people like Carl Nagel or Marcus Bottomley or whatever. They give you quick information how to do magic, but it's not proper books. It's not the secret books that you had back then. And also you had the druids. They could light fires just by opening their hands. You know, they could do many different things. They had that supernatural power. But it goes back to my story that I mentioned earlier, that there's a possibility that this technology has broken the Creator's forces and caused the Creator to be dead, leaving it as a wasteland to die eventually. But obviously it'd probably be taken by something like Higgs boson in the Large Hadron Collider. Obviously it's not going to be taken by that. It would be much more advanced technology that they're using underground. But as far as we know, or the information that people get, or what people know, that's a better description to simplify what they're going to do. Another thing I want to mention is cutting the grooves in Bakelite. Take into account back in the 1800s, you didn't have PCs or laptops or computers or anything like that. So then, how did they cut the grooves to create musical sound in a 78 Bakelite gramophone record? So maybe that just says it all when it comes to technology that's being hidden from us. Right, we're buckling everyone's movement into my direction again, unfortunately. And choked by a catalyst. Dog barks, pervert, beat up. Another thing I wanted to mention is going back even in medieval times, especially from, you know, the hidden knowledge in the books, you know, that people used to have, that only the military and 360-degree Freemasons have or whatever. They didn't just reveal secrets on how to move things using your hands through powers and all the rest of it, but they also had the technology to open portals and for time travel magic as well, so that you could enter different worlds in the universe, which has also been banned from the public. And most of these big places, believe it or not, have been burnt down, that have all these history books, and the only sorts of books they want people to have, and believe it or not, is actually Christian types of people that have also done this. So they're disguising it and trying to force you and dub you into being a Christian or believing in Jesus Christ and Yahweh as the Father, who people that are high up believe is actually a demon or demonic religion to put people in a trap where Jesus Christ puts everybody in hell, basically, or Yahweh puts everyone in hell. So it gets better and better, doesn't it? I can't photograph the evidence of this, but the clouds are posing as a number 20 in the sky, and I don't know what that is supposed to symbolically mean. That's the night sky instantly, because obviously it's dark. Right, a crippled little cunt, the Creator God, the Creator God, the crippled cunt, the cruelty, sex, slaughtering bastard, at 11:45 fucking PM, the sneaky bastard puts a fucking car in my direction to choke me with a catalyst fucking converter, Christ, and to fucking hit me off, you buckled fucking piece of shit, you absolute sexual slaughter fucking tearaway, Christ. The crap cunt needs me hit off. The Creator needs to cause as much fucking havoc and as much fucking trouble and shit stirring in my fucking direction as the Creator can fucking cause. Fucking buckled fucking hell-bent bastard. Christ! Fucking gas! It's 12 o'clock at fucking night, Christ! Me on my gas! I'm enjoying catalytic converter down my fucking throat, you fucking hell-bent cunt!